importantly, the participants, all of you in the room. I would like to take a moment and thank you all. Just clap for yourself, guys. So I would like to just quote a couple of things and then I'll maybe finish my welcome note. So all of you know our ex-beloved President APJ Abdul Kalam, and I would like to quote him. He said, dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in action. So always we need to keep dreaming, and why I'm saying this here is we all need to dream about Nagpur and how we can make it a global city and more importantly a rising star as far as technology is considered. And we are trying to provide a forum through Nagpur First so that we can do that. So all of you are requested to join this cause. We have a LinkedIn group which is online. There are about 6,000 members. We have a technology WhatsApp group wherein we post most of the updates, right? And more importantly, you can become a Nagpur First member and you can talk to us if you want to do that. Again, I would like to quote another quote from APJ Abdul Kalam. He said, "The country doesn't deserve anything less than success from us. The country doesn't deserve anything less than success from us. Let us aim for success." And that is what I would say. Just clap for the man. I have a lot of respect for him. And imagine the kind of contributions he has done for the country as a whole, right? And that's where we need to take inspiration. And with this kind of vision, right, we can definitely meet the goals like city like Nagpur wants to get to. And with that vision, I would say we all should be making India great, our beloved city Nagpur great in terms of all the great contributions from everyone who is in the room and outside the room, so that we realize our dream, right, and make truly Nagpur a great city, right, which everyone aspires to be. So with that, I would like to thank you all, everyone, for being here and being the change maker. Thank you once again. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you, Dr. Rizwan, and I think we should definitely wish you a great luck that someday you should definitely meet Mr. Bill Gates and the dream, and I think, that's something as an audience we should definitely wish that to Dr. Rizwan Ahmed. Okay, so now I request Shashank Raoji to please share the Nagpur First journey and the activities which we are doing here. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. It's always a pleasure, Nidhi, to see you conducting these sessions. The aura and the exuberance that you exude is phenomenal, so keep up the good work. So how are you guys doing? Very good morning to all of you. Good morning. Nidhi, I think we arranged for chai and cookies there, right? Just to spike up their energy levels, right? You guys can do much better than that. How are you doing? Fine. Okay, fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, all of you, it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to the 11th edition of Global Nagpur Summit, and especially the technology track for this year. See, technology has been very close to all of us, right from the day one. I mean, when I look back, the year was 2006 and हम लोग तीन नागपुरी, we met each other accidentally in the suburbs of Chicago, and एकदम Nagpuri style में when we met each other, क्या मामा. So we had that fire and passion in our hearts to give something back to the Nagpur, to our beloved city, and that's how we decided to form this Nagpur First Foundation. And we decided that we will have an objective, we will have an aim towards which we will start working on. So we said that why don't we take up a goal of being a catalyst make Nagpur a global city. So decide कर लिया, ठीक है. Objective सामने था, goal सामने था, but उसको कैसे achieve करना, we were not very clear. So we started off with small initiatives. हमने student exchange programs किए, Nagpur and some European countries. We did some teachers exchange program. Then we painted murals here, right here in front of the wall near Vashantrao Deshpande Hall in Civil Lines. That's one of the biggest mural paintings here in Nagpur. If you get a chance, go and see that. So, छोटे-छोटे activities कर रहे थे हम लोग, and then somebody approached us, and we were told that they were opening a training center in one of the slums. I'm trying to recollect, there's the slum near Dhantoli, Takia, right? So these guys, they approached us, they said that, we are trying to set a training center there for the kids in that slum, and we need some help. So we started looking around, हम लोग सबको reach out किया, and then we managed to get some boxes, terminals, right? And we said that, okay, you can start with these things. And I remember I had a spare laptop with me, so I donated one. I said, go ahead and start doing this. The very next month, I happened to be here in India, and I visited Nagpur, and those guys, they invited me to visit the training center. And what I saw was like, I was blown off. There were these kids, small kids, from those slums, and they were so excited to be in front of the laptops and computers, and they were doing nothing. They were learning how to use Excel spreadsheets, they were learning how to use Word. Internet was the in thing there, and all of them, they got their email IDs created. And I was watching them, they were sitting right there next to each other and emailing themselves. So that was a very fun thing for them. So I was really, it was something, an eye-opener for me that, what technology can do and what kind of changes technology can bring in. So I said that, okay, fine, I'll donate one more laptop. So एक और laptop उनको दे दिया, and that thing went on. But that, and then when I came back and I shared that with my co-founders and some of our members, other members, we all decided that while we are doing a number of things to achieve our goal and objective of making Nagpur a global city, technology is one area that we should be focusing on, because that definitely is a catalyst which will help Nagpur to transform, right? Global city बनने के लिए you need companies here. You need companies which are operating in technology, which companies to set up their shops here. Here, around 2008, 2009, there were just handful of companies who were in IT, wherein the IT boom had already taken over. If you see cities like Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Gurgaon, all of these places were doing phenomenally well. Nagpur was nowhere in the scene, but Nagpur had an advantage. Nagpur is an educational hub like Pune. You have so many engineering colleges here, you have polytechnic colleges here. So every year you have talent available. But what was missing was the skill set, right? And this is something which any company which wants to set up its shop here, they will look for the talent. Talent hai kya? Nagpur had some other advantages, right? Like demographics, geographically it's the heart of the country, and we had very good sessions on why you should be working and feeling about your heart, which drives the whole body. So Nagpur had that. The quality of life, the standard of life, cost of life, these were some of the other factors that become very attractive right? If you want to live and make a career of yourself or yourself in Nagpur. And then government was doing its bit, right? In terms of making policies, in terms of focusing on infrastructure. And trust me, Nagpur has one of the best infrastructures, you can compare Nagpur with anywhere in the world. So with all these things, we thought that yes, while we are doing a bunch of other things, we will definitely start focusing on technology and start propagating technology. So we started with global leadership talks. So कोई US से आ रहा है, कोई सिंगापुर से आ रहा है, तो हम लोग उसको पकड़ लेते थे. हम लोग उसको बोलते थे कि भैया आओ. And then 3 घंटा बात करो, 1 घंटा बात करो. Share your experience. Talk about technology because we want to create awareness, right? Talk about what's trending in the technology world. And ऐसा ही कोई रूम लेके उसको बिठा देते थे, लोगों को पकड़ के लाके बिठाते थे वहाँ पे, स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी, वर्किंग कम्युनिटी, राइट, प्रोफेशनल्स, एंड वी वुड मेक देम लिसन टू व्हाट्स हैपनिंग अक्रॉस द ग्लोब. कोई यूके में मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, वो एक कस्टमर साइड से उसका कस्टमर विजिट था. मैंने कहा यार तू बॉम्बे जा रहा है, नागपुर चले जाए, एंड 1.5 घंटे का 1 घंटे का टॉक देते वहाँ पे. सब स्टूडेंट्स को पकड़ के लाया, जितने को मिले वहाँ पे सामने बिठाया. And he started talking about e-commerce, right? And that really started helping them because the awareness that it creates is phenomenal, right? So that's how we started. And then, a few years back, there's this, one of the, I would say, very successful startup, which was done by the high schoolers in the US. So these are some brilliant, amazing kids who mastered artificial intelligence and machine learning, and they came out with a book as well. And that book went on to become one of the top 10 bestsellers, New York bestsellers in the US, in the technology section. So I knew one of the kids, my other co-founder of Nagpur Forge, Nishad Somalwar. His son was part of that startup, and they were just high schoolers, 9th grade, 10th grade standards. Students. So उनको हमने फिर approach किया, and we said that why don't you help us in conducting some workshop and training sessions. And then I reached out to Rizwan, and I said, Dr. Rizwan, there's this amazing startup in the US. Why can't we have this? Why can't we bring them to Nagpur and conduct workshop and training? So वो बच्चों ने यहाँ पे online training workshop conduct किया. We had, we got phenomenal response. And from 2009, with Nagpur having bunch of companies, now you have all the tier ones, right, here. You have the TCSs and the HCLs and the Infosys of the world, and then you have the tier 2 companies. You have the boutique firms who are specializing and focusing in some very niche area, and they are doing phenomenal work. And then you have this startup ecosystem, which is like booming so well. All of you must be knowing about India producing more than 100 unicorns in the last couple of years. What we dream is basically if Nagpur can have few of them, right? Nagpur definitely has the potential. So there's already a ecosystem that has been created. There's this technology hub that has been created, but I think we are on the cusp of a great opportunity. Look at what is happening with the Indian economy, right? It's the fastest growing economy. Look at what is happening in different sectors. Say, for example, high tech, right? Look at all the chip manufacturing companies, all the component manufacturing companies, electronic companies. They are moving their shops out of China for various reasons and setting their shops here in India. Look at what's happening in the services sector, GCCs, right? It's booming. Manufacturing, make in India, right? Aerospace and defense. That's one sector which is like, firing full cylinders. The best example is the homegrown defense company, Solar Group, right? They are basically manufacturing state-of-art missiles, rocket launchers, hand grenades, and so on. So, what do these companies need, right? They need talent as they are working on cutting edge of the technology. And that is how the next wave of the growth will come, because all these companies, all these tier 1 companies who have already set up the shops here in Nagpur, the boutique firms and all, and so much of talent which is available here. So that ecosystem, you have all the ingredients which are needed for the ecosystem. It's just that we have to continue our efforts in this direction and make sure that we take it to the next level. I mean, there are so many students here. We would definitely love to, as we continue our focus on the technology and the different areas, we would definitely love to seek your feedback, and if there is any particular area, any particular technology that you would say, for example, artificial intelligence and machine learning, robotics, data sciences, right? We would definitely make sure that we conduct these sessions for you, these workshops for you, and which will help you to understand what is happening in the technology world, where the world is moving, and what are the possibilities that you can think of, how you can build your career. But just make sure that once you upgrade your skills, once you upgrade yourself, don't pick up a job outside of Nagpur in Pune or just 10-20,000 ke liye. Don't do that. I mean, make sure that you have a long-term vision, because trust me, I worked in 10 countries, I lived in 10 countries, and I've been in the US since last almost 18 years. The quality of life, the standard of life is much better than what you get out in those countries. Unless until you want to go and there's something out of the extraordinary, or at least you have a roadmap where you think that in the next few years you will be doing some phenomenal work. It doesn't make any sense. Agar Java coding hi karna hai, Java programming karna hai, so why do you want to go and lead a grade 2 life or grade 3 life in Silicon Valley? You can have a great life here and do the same thing here and earn great money. The potential is huge. So, I mean, coming back to our thing, technology has been the focus area for us, and we will continue to focus on this. Make sure that we are not missing the bandwagon, we are not missing the growth which India is basically experiencing. India is going to be a 10 trillion economy by 2030. And we want to make sure that Nagpur starts contributing. I mean, all of you should be very proud of yourself, because you are contributing directly to the growth, because without technology there is no growth, right? And you are part of the technology world. All of you are technocrats. So feel proud about yourself. Make sure that you collaborate with us. Make sure that you guide us, you tell us what you would like us to do in the technology world. And we are the catalysts. We want to make sure that we are providing you with all the opportunities, any collaborative opportunities. Reach out to us, we'll make it happen for you. We want to make sure that Nagpur produces a number of unicorns. We create enough opportunities here. We want to make sure that the way we have all the tier ones, I see Shailesh ji sitting here. I can tell you one thing, last year when I was here, Shailesh ji invited me to his campus and he gave me a tour of the campus. Trust me, the campus that I saw, HCL's campus, it blew me away. I've never seen such a thing even in the US. And another attraction for me to go back to his campus is the canteen. The food there is phenomenal. So, with that, I would like to assure you that we will continue to focus on technology. We will continue to have our global leadership talks. We will continue to organize workshops, training sessions. We will continue to make sure that we are keeping you, aware of what's happening and what's the next wave which is coming on, because some of us are basically right there where the action happens. But the real action happens here. We cannot do anything unless until people sitting out here deliver on time and deliver successfully. So we are just the face, but the actual engine that cranks is somewhere here. And this engine is going to grow. It's not going to stop. So continue the good work, keep working with us, start collaborating with us more closely, and we will ensure that we truly become the catalyst which is needed for Nagpur to become a global city in true sense. And be proud when you start contributing to the economy directly. So with that, I will rest my words. It has been a pleasure to see and meet all of you, and I'm looking forward to engaging sessions here throughout the day. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, and more importantly, Jai Nagpur.
So thank you so much, Shashankji, and sharing the Nagpur First journey. And we all are witnessing today the 15 years back, the discussion that had happened, and we are witnessing the day today. And the support that Nagpur First is doing, the workshop that they are conducting, supporting the young generation, and the advices and the inputs that you have shared, that with the technology and the insights that you have given, that's really wonderful, and I'm sure if they implement, and I'm sure they are going to implement, so that will definitely going to change their life as well. Thank you. And I would request participants, there are few seats available at the front, so if you would like to, switch it here, so yeah, please. Okay, so with that, we are starting with our first keynote, leveraging technology to propel businesses from local to global. And I request Mr. Ghansham Ahuja to join us at the podium to represent. And I request the team to please put up the presentation that we have received. Now, we request the speakers and dignitaries to please stay back on the stage.
Maybe we have less space, so that's why maybe we can just switch the chairs. Just to maybe make the group. Chairs to flip everything. Some people can maybe occupy seats until the other time.
Can you please put the presentation? Mr. Ghansham Ahuja's presentation.
Okay, sorry about the delay. We need a now this was planned for the other hall. We had all the things taken care of. These are some of the things, right? Last one changes. Sir,
Good job, sir. Yes.
Actually, I would like to speak here. आपको आवाज आ रही है? हाँ. मैं आपके साथ बात करना चाहता हूँ. Not just. I would like to come here. नमस्कार. Good morning. Good morning, sir. ऐसा मजा आया. जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी शायद. I hope you can hear me. Yes. पहली बात आप ये बताइए आपको कितनों को लगता है कि ग्लोबल जाने के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी से आप बहुत जल्दी जा सकते हैं?
Or is it going outside also? Okay, sorry. अब एक बात बताइए, कितनों को लगता है कि सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी से हम ग्लोबल जा सकते हैं? I will talk about two aspects of this topic today. The reason I am asking this question is, to me it's not just technology. उसके पहले बहुत आता है हमारे guts, हमारा mind का पैराशूट, हमारा mind के restrictions, constraints, हमारी upbringing. So I'll talk about that. टेक्नोलॉजी तो हम सब बात करेंगे आज, वही टॉपिक है हमारा, right? And please be free to ask questions. ये पूरा engaging session रखना है हमको, ये one sided नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है? Promise? Can I have 50 questions coming soon? Okay, great. So let me share with you my few thoughts and some examples जो नागपुर से ही है, कई सारे and बाहर से भी हैं, जो टेक्नोलॉजी से बहुत आगे बढ़े हैं और बढ़ रहे हैं भी. लेकिन रीजंस क्या हैं उनके? सबसे पहले ये सब आपने काफी सारे स्टडीज देखे होंगे जो रीजन व्हाई इंडिया इज पॉइज्ड टू ग्रो वेरी फास्ट, राइट? सो वी हैव 63 million MSMEs driving 48% of exports. Let me share with you one shocking point what I got to know at Amsterdam or some airport I was moving. Suddenly मैंने 600 लोग देखे अपने इंडियंस वहाँ से जाते हुए, right from Maharashtra to Gujarat and all that. Not that कि हर किसी को नहीं चाहती थी. मेरे लिए शॉक ये था, मैंने उनको पूछा कि आप कहाँ से? क्यूरियोसिटी. ना द पॉइंट आई वांट टू शेयर विद यू इज क्यूरियोसिटी रखना बहुत जरूरी है. मैं आराम से बैठ के चाय कॉफी पी सकता था वहाँ पे. क्यूरियोसिटी थी कि यार हो क्या रहा है, अपने देशी लोग यहाँ पे यूरोपियन कंट्री में, वो भी ट्रांजिट में. आई गॉट टू नो कि इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट और मे बी नंबर 1, somebody may correct me, इन टेक्सटाइल मशीनरी. आई डोंट नो, आप लोग शायद उस इंडस्ट्री से हैं. टेक्सटाइल मशीनरी जो बनाते हैं, जिससे टेक्सटाइल बनता है, वो लोग वहाँ पे एग्जीबिशन में गए थे, ना जस्ट एज ए डेलीगेट, एज उनके बूथ थे वहाँ पे. सो इट वॉज अ शॉकिंग. हम लोग पढ़ते तो बहुत है, लेकिन जब देखना होता है तो समझ में आता है, राइट? सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर विद यू कि हमको कई बार पता ही नहीं कि हमारे इंडिया से कितना कोई एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है. Yesterday somebody suggested that almost 30 plus countries were exporting some products just from Nagpur, right? So एक तो पहले आप अपना इंफॉर्मेशन का नॉलेज जो है वो आप बढ़ा दीजिए और रिस्ट्रिक्शन मत रखिए कि कहाँ से नहीं कर सकते हैं, सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. Global opportunities obviously are getting adopted because of digital tools. आपने, I think Shashank, you spoke about e-commerce, right? So I was fortunate to work in e-commerce world way back in 2001 जब मुझे e का वर्ड भी नहीं पता था. I used to work for this company called Global Telesystems Limited, and उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि हम अभी टेलीकॉम प्रोडक्ट में बंद कर रहे हैं. ये भी भाई यहाँ बैठे हैं, आपसे बात कर रहा था मैं. ई-कॉमर्स में आपको काम करना है. And after 6 months, I was being invited as a speaker for e-commerce and all that. मैंने अपने बॉस को बोला, सर मेरे को खुद को नहीं पता ई के बारे में, मैं कहाँ जाके बात करूँगा. तो उसने एक ही बात बोली मेरे बॉस ने उस टाइम में कि देखो आज की डेट में ई-कॉमर्स इज न्यू फॉर इंडिया एंड फॉर एवरीबडी. एंड उस टाइम में बाय द वे आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 25 years बैक स्टोरी, 22 years बैक. ये इन्फॉर्मेशन इतना इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं था हमारे पास. हम लोग न्यूज़लेटर, जस्ट टू टेल यू, न्यूज़लेटर सब्सक्राइब करते थे. सम ऑफ यू माइट बी नोइंग. वहाँ से पढ़ के थोड़ा नॉलेज लेते थे, फिर बताते थे. उन्होंने बोला कि जब ई अफोर्डेबल SaaS टूल्स हम लोग कुछ बात कर रहे थे अभी. एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इसमें ये आपको, क्योंकि मैं खुद इसमें हूँ. मेरी कंपनी है VSaaS, विच इज क्रिएटिंग वैल्यू आउट ऑफ SaaS. हो क्या रहा है कि आज से 10 साल पहले मैं खुद किसी कंपनी को जाके बोलता था कि आपको अगर वेयर हाउस मैनेजमेंट बनाना है तो मैं आपको बना के दूंगा, 6 महीने लगेंगे, 1 साल लगेंगे। आज आपके लिए SMEs हैं आप। How many of you know SaaS? Can anyone give me your definition of SaaS? या कौन सा SaaS प्रोडक्ट आप यूज करते हैं? Anything?
Software as a service. So
Oh.
like ChatGPT or anything that we use day to day. Like Google search is
Anything else you're using besides ChatGPT as a SaaS product or a SaaS application?
Google
Zoho. Zoho.
Okay, very good. क्या आपको लगता है कि there was SaaS 25 years back? किसको लगता है? किसी को लगता है? Anyone? Only 1-2 बोल रहे हैं, right? अगर मैं बोलूँ 30 साल पहले था SaaS, हॉटमेल। देखिए मैं इसलिए क्वेश्चन ले रहा हूँ आपको कि हमको कई बार पता ही नहीं चलता आजकल कि हम वो SaaS प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहे हैं। सो SaaS, आपने कभी ईमेल खुद तो बनाया नहीं ना, आपको हॉटमेल भाटिया साहब ने दिया आपको, ठीक है? उनको भले ऐश्वर्या नहीं मिली लेकिन हमको ईमेल मिल गया। I don't know if you know, there was a proposal from Aishwarya Rai to Mr. Bhatia on a lighter note. So SaaS, नहीं मैं आपको ये बोल रहा हूँ कि हम कई बार उसमें जुड़े रहते हैं, हमको पता ही नहीं रहता कि हम वहाँ पे। SaaS has been always there. आज आप e-commerce से कर रहे हैं तो आप पहले ईमेल से भी बिजनेस कर सकते थे, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते थे। Coming back to my previous point, आपका माइंड का रिस्ट्रिक्शन कहाँ पर है, राइट? So that's most important. यहाँ ग्लोबल इम्पैक्ट, यहाँ हम टेक्नोलॉजी की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं कनेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं, हमारा जो सोच है उसको टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कैसे जोड़े। That's my whole point. So second thing, जैसे आपने बोला SaaS के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो रीज़न अभी क्या हो रहा है? As you rightly said, Zoho another example. आप जब छोटी SME है, छोटी कंपनी है, तो आप छोटे छोटे प्रोडक्ट सब्सक्राइब करके बड़ी से बड़ी कंपनी जैसा IT यूज कर सकते हैं। So that's the takeaway you should take from here. कभी मत सोचना कि हम छोटी कंपनी है। आप 15 प्रोडक्ट आज सिर्फ $100 में या फिर $5,000 पर मंथ के हिसाब से, 10 के हिसाब से, you can have a best technology available to you, as available to maybe Haldirams of the world, which is a local example here for you, and any international example, right? So that's the beauty. You can create your global business using SaaS tools. Of course, AI and automation में ज़्यादा बात नहीं करूँगा, सब लोग बात कर चुके हैं. Enough topics has been shared there. E-commerce की हमने बात करी already, right? Let me give you also connecting some examples. I run besides my VSaaS business, I run a fund called Thinkubate. It's Think, Innovate, Incubate, combined into one word called Thinkubate. जिसमें हमने एक कंपनी को इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है, उनका नाम है Do My Shoot. अब Do My Shoot क्या करता है? अगर मैं नागपुर का एक छोटा सा व्यापारी हूँ, राइट? मुझे पैसा नहीं है प्रोफेशनल शूटिंग करने का, राइट? लेकिन आप फिर भी प्रोफेशनल शूट करके, अगर आप फ्लिपकार्ट में जाओगे या अमेजॉन में जाओगे, आपको अच्छा सा फोटो शूट चाहिए, राइट? तो व्हाट दे डू माई शूट बेसिकली ऐप के थ्रू AI बेस्ड सिंपल से फोटोशॉप के बारे में, आप बहुत सारे फोटोग्राफर यहाँ पे सुनने लायक बात है, दे वर अ फोटोग्राफी कंपनी मच प्रोफेशनल, कन्वर्टेड देयर फोटोग्राफ्स, डिजिटल फोटोग्राफ्स इनटू AI मॉडल। आप उसका ऐप से पिक्चर ले लीजिए, मुझे सपोज ये प्रोडक्ट बेचना है, मेरा नागपुर का प्रोडक्ट है, ऑरेंज रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट है, समथिंग लाइक दैट, राइट? पिक्चर निकालूंगा मैं, ऑटोमेटिकली दैट एप्लीकेशन गिव्स मी अ बेस्ट फोटोग्राफ फॉर मल्टीपल प्लेटफॉर्म्स, 15 प्लेटफॉर्म, मुझे सिंगापुर में बेचना है, US में बेचना है, कहीं और बेचना है, ऑटोमेटिकली टेम्पलेट बन के आ जाएगा, कहाँ आपको पब्लिश करना है, हो गया ग्लोबल। आप किसी भी गांव में बैठ के कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? सो आई थिंक दीज आर एग्जाम्पल्स अवेलेबल टू यू, एंड ई-कॉमर्स इज अ बिग प्ले। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो अबाउट अमेजॉन के जो बहुत सारे सेलर्स आ गए थे बीच में जब अमेजॉन चालू हुआ था? एनीवन हैज एक्सपीरियंस दैट? हैव यू डन बिजनेस लाइक ई-कॉमर्स, राइट? So that gave you a good opportunity, right? A platform to become a global businessman sitting anywhere, right? So that was a big wave for Amazon sellers. Digital marketing tools, of course, आप लोग youngsters और अच्छे से जानते हैं. For anyone, I would strongly recommend 2 चीजें. वहाँ youngsters बैठे हैं, यहाँ हमारे traditional businessmen बैठे हैं. मैं एक ही चीज आपको रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा, आप टेक्नोलॉजी से घबराए ना, आप उसको अडॉप्ट करिए. भले आप खुद मत यूज करिए, हमारा एक इनर्शिया होता है नहीं यूज करने का. Have some youngsters sitting there helping you. उनके ऊपर आप भरोसा करिए. I can guarantee you कि आज मैं खुद IT कंपनी होकर मैं यंगस्टर्स को भरोसा करता हूँ कि यार आप बताओ. किसी ने मुझे बताया, फॉर एग्जांपल माय ओन सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी, somebody gave me a knowledge that sir Instagram is important, Facebook is important. जो हम शायद B2B में, I'm sure some of you will agree, हम नहीं मानते. But he gave me an example actually by showing example of some companies which are competition, right? So again, going back to mind, आप अपने आप को उससे निकालिए, आप यूज कर सकते हैं किसी भी चीज को. Logistic supply chain is a big problem for India, or used to be problem if I may say, but it's becoming much better now. आपने सुना होगा लॉजिस्टिक जो वेयर हाउसेस हो गए या फिर आपका कोल्ड स्टोरेज हो गए, राइट. लास्ट माइल डिलीवरी के तो आप खुद एडवांटेज है. आजकल कितना 10 मिनट में आ रहा है सामान, 5 मिनट में कितना 10 मिनट, राइट. We just invested in a company called Zippy, so no, the last mile delivery. So 10 minutes. I can tell you guys, ये इंडिया में जो हो रहा है कहीं नहीं हो रहा है. I'm sure you'll agree. Do you have this kind of 10 minutes delivery in US? I don't have in Singapore. जो एक ही सिटी है, एक ही कंट्री है, एक ही स्टेट है, राइट. उतना केओस भी नहीं है वहाँ पे. अपना एड्रेस भी बहुत इजी मिल जाता है वहाँ पे. इतना नहीं मिलता कि इसके बाजू में, उसके राइट में ये पान की दुकान है, उसकी पान की दुकान है, वैसा नहीं चलता वहाँ पे. बहुत इजी है. उसके बाद भी I can guarantee you guys, 10 मिनट में कोई कमिट नहीं कर पाएगा. Imagine the kind of growth India has. I'm sure sir, Alok sir, you also agree. So actually we are sitting in the best technology world, by the way, in India, जो कई जगह पे available नहीं है. So be proud of that. And ये जो problems हैं, as somebody said, कि problems can be opportunities. So logistics is growing. Fintech innovation, of course, is amazing in India. इसका example है जो आपका UPI है. UPI वालों ने अपना एक बैंगलोर में सेंटर खोला हुआ है, नॉन प्रॉफिट सेंटर, जो गवर्नमेंट्स या poor countries you may call it, right, who cannot afford that kind of infrastructure, they are helping them to adopt UPI in those countries. Imagine now. So it's not US, it's not Singapore, it's not Germany, it is India's technology which is going everywhere, right? तो fintech, ये चार बहुत important चीजें आपके लिए जो भी business हैं, आप e-commerce, digital, logistic, fintech, बहुत कुछ हो चुका है, and you can leverage that. So some success stories जो हम बात कर ही रहे हैं, बीच में आपको share कर ही रहा हूँ already. There are some examples from NAGPUR, एक mobility company है, I'm forgetting the name. It's a mobility company which has grown to more than 15 countries. Later you will hear Mr. Chawla talking about the way he has grown from NAGPUR to multiple countries. Please do touch upon this point. But the important point now for the challenges जो हम बात करते हैं, I think किसी ने बात करी, I think Rizwan, you spoke about कि how we can become more disciplined and professional. I would touch upon that point very importantly. Cultural behaviors, adopting products for different markets, not just adopting products, आप खुद का जो आपका relationship है आपके partners के साथ या फिर जो आप employees के साथ बात करेंगे. People look at us in a different way when we don't behave professionally. Discipline उनके लिए important है. कई सारी चीज़ें जो हमको चलता है उनको नहीं चलता है. हमारे इसमें वहाँ पे सिंगापुर में जो बोलते हैं जिस तरह can, cannot. I don't know किसी ने सुना है कि नहीं वहाँ पे. तो वहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं चलता वाला ऐसा नहीं है. तो वहाँ उनको चाहिए डिसिप्लिन. जापान जाओगे आप, जापान में तो आपको एक लेटर, आई डोंट नो आपको पता है, जापान में आपका जो कार्ड होता है, विजिटिंग कार्ड, उसके ऊपर एम्बॉसिंग होती है. जितनी ज़्यादा एम्बॉसिंग रहेगी उतनी आपकी सीनियरिटी है, और जितना सीनियर है उतना पर्टिकुलरली आपको अकॉर्डिंगली झुकना पड़ता है उससे मिलने के लिए. आई डोंट नो ये आपको पता है कि नहीं. मतलब मैं अगर इतना झुक रहा हूँ तो मतलब ठीक है, एक लेवल का सीनियर है, 2, 3, 4, 5, अनलेस आप बैकएंड का प्रॉब्लम दोगे तो बात अलग है, ठीक है बोले छोड़ देंगे आपको. So cultural things to know about the product. There are multiple stories you can read online. Coca-Cola का एक केस हुआ था मिडिल ईस्ट में. उन्होंने लिटरली इंग्लिश का ऐड उन्होंने लोकल भाषा में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. It had a very wrong meaning. Number 4 is considered as death in Chinese. Number 8 is lucky. Right? उसके एडवांटेजेस भी होते हैं. मैंने पहला घर जो खरीदा था लेवल 4 पे था क्योंकि सस्ता मिला ऑब्वियसली. हम इंडियन को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, चाइनीज को फर्क पड़ रहा था. राइट. Compliances, navigating through international regulation and tax systems. Guys, मैं strongly बोलूँगा, हम लोग को बहुत सुनने को मिलता है यहाँ पे, ओपनली बोल सकता हूँ मैं, कि सीए लोग लूपहोल लेके आते हैं अपने पास, सिखाते हैं कि कैसे कार्ड कसर करना है. Please don't do that. I can guarantee you, कुछ नहीं होता उससे. हम खुद ही इंटरनेशनल नहीं हो पाएंगे उससे. जितना आप सिस्टमेटिक वे में ट्रांसपेरेंटली ओपनली काम करोगे, which I can share some open ऑफलाइन में आपसे बात कर सकता हूँ कैसे कर सकते हैं आप लोग. But don't बोलते हैं कार्ड का सर बीच में नहीं करने, भले खर्चा हो चलता है. सो मेक श्योर यू आर कंप्लायंट. कंपटीशन ऑफ कोर्स विद एस्टैब्लिश्ड ग्लोबल प्लेयर्स, ऑलरेडी आपको जैसे बताया कई लोगों ने कंपटीशन दी है. इसका एक ही डायलॉग बोलूँगा मैं आपको. गूगल पे बोला जाता है, गूगल ऑफिस में, डोंट बी अफ्रेड ऑफ माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, SAP एंड ऑरेकल, अफ्रेड ऑफ नेक्स्ट गूगल. गूगल को बहुत छोटे प्लेयर से ज़्यादा डर है. आई एम श्योर यूएस में आप लोग ज़्यादा बैठते हैं. दे आर मोर वरीड फ्रॉम अनदर गूगल कमिंग than from the established players. इसका मतलब क्या कि आप यहाँ से बैठ के ग्लोबल कंपटीशन दे सकते हैं. मोबाइल का ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हो गया, मोबाइल का AI सर्च इंजन अलग से हो गया, राइट. IoT बेस्ड सर्च इंजन यहाँ से बना सकते, मतलब कुछ भी आपकी आइडिया हो सकती है निकाल सकते हैं यहाँ से. He will again share about his idea what he has done. Logistics, of course, managing international supply chain complexities that nowadays more consultants are helping you very easy. Another important thing, जब भी आप कहीं localization में, whenever you go for a global impact, make sure that localization is very important. Local language, local words, local even importance of a particular color is important for them by the way. हमको नहीं लगता है सर, लेकिन वहाँ पे एक एक चीज़ को बहुत बारीकी से देखा जाता है. So localization in multiple things. Of course, cloud computing most of you have to use for scalability and cost effectiveness and market insights. ये बहुत important है आपको. So data analytics तो आपको एक चीज़ें बताता है, लेकिन आपको on ground में पता करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Just to give an example, I invested in a company in Singapore called NAGPUR, which was a social media analytics company. अब सोशल मीडिया में आपको एनालाइज करना है, मॉनिटर करना है कि लोग क्या बात करते हैं. आपने शशांक ने चालू किया बाबा, अब बाबा का मीनिंग उसको कौन समझेगा मशीन को, जब तक हम नहीं समझाएंगे. हाँ, बैताड़, अपने मतलब बैताड़ है, राइट. अब बैताड़ को लिखेगा, लिखते हैं अपन इंग्लिश में लिखते हैं, राइट, ऑन राइट पर लिखते हैं हम लोग. वो स्लैंग्स आपको कौन समझाएगा. एंड वो स्लैंग इमेजिन कि नागपुर में अपने अलग स्लैंग्स हैं वर्सेस महाराष्ट्र के. आप परभणी साइड जाओगे अलग है थोड़ा वहाँ पे, राइट. इमेजिन आप किसी और कंट्री में जा रहे हैं. तो लोकलाइजेशन या उसको जो बोलेंगे हम लोग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. मार्केट के इंसाइट्स जो कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं आप, इंसाइट्स वर्सेस लोकलाइजेशन. तो हमने जैसे इंडोनेशिया मलेशिया में सेम लैंग्वेज होती है जिसको बाय द वे भाषा बोलते हैं, उसको भाषा. उनकी लैंग्वेज बहुत सारी हमारी संस्कृत से निकली हुई है. सो अगेन बी प्राउड कि हमने उनको लैंग्वेज दी है, राइट. तो भाषा, लेकिन भाषा के कुछ डिफरेंसेस हैं बिटवीन इंडोनेशिया एंड मलेशिया. वो आपको कौन समझाएगा, लोकल बैठ के समझेगा. मराठी में कैसे बोला जाता है, मराठी में एनालिसिस कैसे करना. आपको LLMs जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं LLMs कर रहे हैं आप प्रोडक्ट AI में, हाउ डू वी यूज इट फॉर लोकलाइजेशन फॉर लोकल इंडस्ट्रीज, राइट. दैट्स व्हाट यू शुड बी वर्किंग ऑन. एंड ऑफ कोर्स गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट इज ह्यूज. कितनों को लगता है कि आज अपनी गवर्नमेंट से आपको कॉन्फिडेंस मिलता है कि मुझे कुछ करने को है. डू यू थिंक और यू हैव कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन गवर्नमेंट? बढ़ा है, हैज इट, इज इट इंक्रीजिंग एवरी टाइम? अपने देवा भाव आए तो और बढ़ गया कि नहीं? तो एक बार देवा भाव के लिए तालियां हो जाए आज. सो एक कॉन्फिडेंस आता है, राइट. लाइक नागपुर के बारे में यू आर टॉकिंग, राइट शशांक? सॉरी,
Just wanted to add, you spoke about Deva Bhav. The first edition of Nagpur Global Nagpur Summit was inaugurated by Deva Bhav in the same hall.
Wow.
2014.
फिर से तालियां देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी के लिए, जिनको हम ये वीडियो भेजेंगे. सो बट नहीं, लेकिन मतलब लाइटर नोट पे है ये बात, लेकिन बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस आता है. आज मैं सही शशांक व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, पीपल आउटसाइड नागपुर दे डू टॉक अबाउट नागपुर. ये जो ट्रिपल लेवल का अपना ये जो ये ब्रिजेस बनी है, उस दिन में गया था वो जो कामठी साइड वाली ब्रिज पे. I was amazed. I was feeling almost like one of the highways in Singapore or US, जिससे लग रहा है. तो आप लोग बहुत लकी है. अगर मैं भी अपने आप को लकी मानता हूँ कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली मैं आ नहीं पाया यहाँ पे. उस टाइम में जब शशांक ने बात करी, हम लोग बात कर रहे थे. आई हैव बीन द विक्टिम ऑफ दिस ग्लोबल इम्पैक्ट जो नहीं हुआ नागपुर में. आई वांटेड टू कम बैक इन 2009. उस टाइम में कुछ हुआ नहीं था. आई विश अगर होता, लेकिन आज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यू शुड बी प्राउड. इनफैक्ट आई एम प्रमोटिंग ऑल माय यंगस्टर्स एंड अदर्स नॉट टू मूव आउट फ्रॉम नागपुर. फॉरगेट अबाउट आउटसाइड इंडिया. Right, so Nagpur itself has an international, except maybe airlines का जो connectivity है, that's I think something we should talk to and make a lobby. Rest all I think is taken care. So be proud कि नागपुर में बैठे हैं आज के दिन में आप, जो आपको हमारे जैसा मौका जो मेरे को नहीं मिला. मैं एक्चुअली मैं उल्टा बोल रहा हूँ. मैं सिंगापुर बैठा हूँ, लेकिन मैं उल्टा बोल रहा हूँ कि मुझे मौका नहीं मिला नागपुर में उस टाइम. But I made it now my opportunity by having my own offices here. And just to also share with you my connection with Nagpur, when I launched my Singapore fund and I got a license in SEBI, 100 crore fund का license मिला मुझे. And by the way, एक और चीज़ शेयर करने वाली बात है, वो जो license मिला हम लोग को थिंकीवर्ड का, in just 35 days time, fund का license, AIF का license मुझे मिला. तो वो मैं आज पूरे वर्ल्ड में प्रमोट करता हूँ, बोलता हूँ कि ease of doing business in India, ये है एग्जाम्पल, रियल एग्जाम्पल. आप बाहर से बैठ के जो भी बात करो, लोग वहाँ आज भी बात करते हैं कि आपके यहाँ पे हाथी अभी भी घूमता है क्या, स्नेक चार्मर घूमते हैं क्या रास्ते पे. मतलब आप कहाँ की बात कर रहे हो आप लोग. अब ये है नया जमाना हो, तो आप इसके बारे में बात करो. सो बी प्राउड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स एंड स्टे हियर एंड मेक अ इम्पैक्ट. अगेन Mr. Chawla will tell you how he has done that impact. Funding schemes from support from MSME technology. हमारी खुद की थिंक्यूबेट का मैंने फंड का लॉन्च अभी बताया आपको, मैंने जानबूझ के मैंने नागपुर में किया. बॉम्बे दिल्ली को तो सपोर्ट सबका मिलता है, राइट? जयपुर, आपने जो बात करी, मैं बोलने वाला था. जयपुर has grown like crazy. I was told in last one of the event, Salesforce का one of the number one hub in India is Jaipur. तो आज हम नागपुर को AI का हब क्यों नहीं बना सकते, राइट? हम बाद में एक पैनल में डिस्कस करेंगे स्पेसिफिकली विद आशीष. नागपुर को हम मीडिया टेक का हब क्यों नहीं बना सकते? एक वो विजन लेके चलते हैं, उसको आगे बढ़ाते हैं, ठीक है? That's it. So conclusion is basically टेक्नोलॉजी ने तो बहुत कुछ डेमोक्रेटाइज कर लिया है, right? Allowing your smallest Indian cities to compete internationally. But again मैं वापस उस पे आऊँगा, दिमाग के restrictions. ये आप जरूर एक बार इस पे पॉन्डर करना. हम अपने आप को रोकते हैं. मैं आजकल मेरे दो बेटे हैं, उनको मैं एक ही बात बोलता हूँ, आपस में उनकी राइवलरी भाइयों में भी होती है. उस दिन मैं उसको बोल रहा था माय लेसन एंड ही इज फॉलोइंग इट. उस दिन मैं बैठा उसके एग्जाम के टाइम में, ऐसे बेटा अगर तुम उसको फॉलो करोगे, मोहित नाम है उसका, छोटे का नाम राहुल है, तो मोहित का जो लेवल है तुम वहीं तक पहुँच पाओगे. उसके साथ तुम कॉम्पीट कर रहे हो, कंपेयर कर रहे हो. व्हाई नॉट राहुल 3.0, राहुल 4.0, राहुल 5.0, जो तुम जिंदगी भर खत्म नहीं कर पाओगे. यहाँ पे आपकी लिमिट हो जाएगी, राइट? कि मैं इससे कंपेयर कर रहा हूँ, राइट? तो डोंट कंपेयर. जो आजकल सोशल मीडिया की वजह से हम पर्सनल लाइफ में बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं. डोंट कंपेयर. हैव योर ओन जर्नी, हैव योर ओन वर्जन which can be XYZ, Rahul 1000.0 or Mohit 2000.0, not between them. So open your mind, open your parachute. Technology is available. Technology is only the enabler. वो इनेबल करेगी आपको. जब तक आप खुद नहीं सोचोगे कि मुझे कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी कब कहाँ कैसे यूज करनी है, तब तक आप कहाँ आगे बढ़ पाओगे. दैट्स इट. थैंक यू.
Ghanshyam sir, just please stay there. So thank you so much, Ghanshyam sir, for sharing all the insights. And I think one of the best advice that you have just shared, that we should not compare or compete with others, just the versioning ourselves and upgrading ourselves. That's the one of the best advice. Though we are in a traditional business, we are in a modern business, or we are a student, or we are a professional. So I think this is one of the best advice for everyone. Apart from that, the other insights which Ghanshyam sir has shared, I'm sure it will be if people will implement with all the adaptability and the technology that you have talked about, so it will be a great insights for everyone. Thank you, sir. And I request Shashank Rao sir to please present a memento to our chief guest. Thank you, Ghanshyam sir. Thank you, Shashank sir.
रामदेव बाबा से हूँ, मैं VNIT से हूँ, जब भी मौका मिलता है, जब भी बुलाया जाता है, जब भी मैं होता हूँ, तो definitely I can come and share why I strongly believe that it's not a time to go out, rather be here. More than happy to share my whatever knowledge I have.
So can you have another area for your Nagpur first to interact more student to join or connect the more student with your group?
Good point, Shashank sir. I think to note.
Even
he has been always engaging students.
your faculty also are interested to join such type of
I think ये point बहुत अच्छा बोला आपने. मैं personally इस पे ज़्यादा focus करूँगा students ज़्यादा. I think good point. अगर हम faculty को ही उस level पे motivate करें and knowledge दें और share करें उनके साथ, maybe I think good idea. I'll be more than happy to work along with Nagpur first.
Oh, we will discuss more. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
It's a good point. क्योंकि जो आप train कर रहे हैं, वही अगर train the trainer basically. Train the trainer.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Maybe we can take 3-4.
First of all, I would like to say thanks for guiding us and giving us.
मुझे एक बात बता पड़े, कौन सी चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा दिमाग पे हिट करेगी?
Lot of things. The first I feel
एक ही
that
बताओ फिलहाल.
from taking that local business to global, that is the one, and a lot of area that you address like AI automation, SaaS tools. My question is like I would like to know your insights on education sector. What kind of innovations or technology innovation do you think we can do? Because I belong to that education, I want to do, but I just want to see like SaaS tools, AI automation, and other stuff.
Okay. Very touchy point you touched on my heart. The reason I am in Singapore is because of learning management system. The first project I could do, otherwise I would have been asked to go out and work somewhere else, was learning management system. Now coming to your question, education and edutech is growing very fast, right? Example of local, आपको पता है कि यहाँ से इंडिया से कई सारे हजार लाखों टीचर्स बाहर ट्यूशन दे रहे हैं, आपको पता है ऑनलाइन ट्यूशन पता होगा आपको, right? So that's one educom company, बहुत सारी companies हैं. So one is you can use to give education. यहाँ से आपको पता नहीं होगा इंडिया से बैठ के भरतनाट्यम सिखाया जा रहा है पूरे वर्ल्ड में, संतूर सिखाया जा रहा है, तो अवेलेबल है, एजुकेशन के टूल्स तो अवेलेबल है. देन AI ऑफ कोर्स इज कमिंग अप. आपका जो एक मैंने देखा था अभी स्टूडेंट का ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम, मतलब आप ऑनलाइन जो पढ़ रहे हैं आप, लेकिन ऑनलाइन में आपने कौन से पेज पे कितना टाइम बिताया आपने, राइट? ट्रैकिंग दैट इज कमिंग अप. यू शुड यूज दैट. उससे पता चलता है आपको कि बच्चों को कौन से पेज में, कौन से इसमें वीडियो पे, एक वीडियो देखा, एक PDF पे देखा उन्होंने, या तो जेट से उनका आजकल उनका टाइम स्पैन कम हो गया है, अटेंशन स्पैन काफ़ी कम हो गया है, तो आपको उसको ट्रैक करना. यूज दोस टेक्नोलॉजी, आइदर यू बिल्ड द टेक्नोलॉजी और यूज द टेक्नोलॉजी टू इफेक्टिवली यूज इट. दीज आर सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स.
Thank you.
यस.
A small question about incubate. You mentioned about that you got 100 crore funding for the same. So as you're running for Nagpur, I want to know what are the operational challenges that you might be facing for running the same? What hindrances are coming up, and what was the growth of it in the last 4 or 5 years? In the next 5 years, what are the plans you have?
So obviously one of the small portion I am doing from here. That's a connection I have. Again, restriction कोई नहीं है. I can run full fund from here. There are people who are doing that, right? कोई restriction नहीं है यहाँ पे. हाँ, कई बार वो talent, मैं talent भी नहीं बोलता. Talent से ज़्यादा मैं बोलूँगा attitude की कमी है. चलता है वाला जो बोलेगा ना यहाँ हिसाब अपना attitude वाला, मतलब जो आपको सेम. आप एक बात बताओ, सेम बंदा बंदी पूना में जाके अलग बिहेव करते हैं. Do you agree? क्यों यार? क्यों? आप एक 3 लोगों की कंपनी बनाओ, प्रोफेशनल कंपनी बनाओ, यहाँ से एटीट्यूड रखो ना वो. तो एटीट्यूड में तो टैलेंट से ज़्यादा एटीट्यूड आप चेंज करें, मतलब जो भी साथ में काम, तो दैट्स अ रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑफ नागपुर. इफ आप सब बिजनेसमैन से पूछोगे, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. एटीट्यूड चलता है, आएंगे 10:30-11 बजे आएंगे, चाय देख लेंगे, चाय पियेंगे, 3:30 बजे बहुत अर्ली खाने जाएंगे, मतलब वो ठीक है, नथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट, बट एक वो एटीट्यूड क्या होता है ना, आई कैन टेल यू, किसी जैपनीज के साथ आप बैठोगे या किसी और के साथ, एक आपने गलती कर दी, उसने कमिट, जिसे अपने यहाँ बोल देते ना हो जाएगा जी, वो सब जगह है ओवरऑल, और आपने नहीं किया, आपको कोई बोलेगा नहीं कुछ. आई कैन गारंटी यू, इंटरनेशनल क्लाइंट, उसका रेपुटेशन इतना खराब हो जाएगा बाद में, आपके फाउंडर का रेपुटेशन खराब चले जाता है उसमें कई बार, वो हम नहीं सोचते हैं. तो वो एटीट्यूड बोलूँगा मैं, दैट्स एटीट्यूड. अदरवाइज सिंगापुर नागपुर में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑपरेशन. टर्म्स ऑफ थिंग्स आर डन फ्रॉम हियर, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज डू दैट. आई चोज हियर टू लॉन्च द फंड. उस टाइम में जब मैं आया था यहाँ पे, द रीजन वाज टू यहाँ के सबको बताया जाए कि यहाँ से भी आप बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. दैट वाज आइडिया. Any of, we have time for two more?
We can take one.
One more, please. We can talk offline also, please.
Hello sir, my name is Gaurav, this is I'm a founder. And currently me and my team, we are working in embedded systems and software as a service, right? So IoT. But we struggle to find people who are interested in helping us with these sectors because software, web development, app development, and some firmware development, very easily we can find people who are willing to do. But especially in embedded systems, we find it difficult to find people, to volunteer करके अपना time share करेंगे, because we don't have funds, we are completely bootstrapped at the moment. So how do we find such people who are interact, get their attention? Because we need that guidance.
तो एक बात बताओ, आपने कितने कॉलेजेस के साथ जाके ट्राई किया है? Have you spoken to some colleges regarding having those students working with you or volunteers or people working with you?
Yeah, I have talked to my connections to in 2 or 3 colleges.
Right.
But even then, they are our same age and they don't have that much experience, right?
Right. So you are referring to senior people volunteering for you, or you are referring to students?
No, someone can guide us, be it a senior, like even just graduated a couple of years after the college.
आपने LinkedIn से ट्राई किया है?
LinkedIn से try किया लेकिन
Right. Maybe he will tell you. He will tell you. So basically, what I would suggest is take more efforts. 3 नहीं 30 कॉलेज में जाओ. 30 में से एक निकलेगा. बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है भाई. फाउंडर को बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. समझ रहे? राइट. तो ऐसा नहीं होता. 3 से काम नहीं करना होता. मैं बता रहा हूँ इसका एक एग्जांपल. Sorry यार. सब. Yes, okay. He's helping you. Very good.
Yeah, I'm Shrikant. You can contact me after this. Yes, sir. I will surely guide you to meet some good people over there.
Sorted answer. बाकी offline बात करते हैं.
Thank you, sir. Moving to next keynote, share and connect, driving growth in the AI age from artificial intelligence to edge intelligence. I welcome Mr. Sahil Chawla, CEO and co-founder of T2nd Inc. USA to join us on the dais, and I request team to please put up the presentation by Mr. Sahil Chawla.
Thank you Nagpur first for giving me this opportunity. मैं context set करता हूँ, presentation तो होता रहेगा. I'll give you background. मैं और मेरा एक colleague है, हम बहुत सारे conferences, meetings attend करते हैं. ये कुछ तो कहीं से मिले to understand. मुझे एक mentor ने मुझे बहुत अच्छे से बोला था कि साहिल हम picture देखने जाते हैं ना, तो भी 300 रुपए 100 रुपए हम 90 रुपीस की टिकट देते थे. वो देख के भी हम देखना चाहते हैं कि हम कितना क्या लेके आए. सेम वे में आप अपना समय लेके आए हैं यहाँ, तो आई विल मेक श्योर कि आप यहाँ से कुछ डायरेक्ट लेके जाए. तो हम जब कोई ऐसी मीटिंग्स में जाते हैं जहाँ बहुत इंग्लिश में बात होती है, तो हमने उसका नाम रखा है कि जो मीटिंग अटेंड की इसमें इंग्लिश हुई कि काम का कुछ हुआ. तो आई एम पार्ट ऑफ a lot of forums. I started my journey from Nagpur, but I am not from Nagpur. I am from Brahmapuri, a nearby town. Studied till 10th there, then came to Nagpur. कोई IIT, कोई Stanford, कोई Harvard, कोई IIM नहीं किया. And ये इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि मेरे जैसे काफी लोग बैठे हैं. 2014 में मैं भी वहीं बैठा था, इसी हॉल पे. और 2014, 15, 16 तीनों साल बैठा था फिगर आउट करने के लिए कि करना क्या है. करना था ये पता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ बनाना है, बट आई वाज नॉट एबल टू मेक इट. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर आज मैंने उनको देख के बहुत खुशी हुई. समीर सर आप स्टैंड होंगे तो ही वाज द फर्स्ट पर्सन आई वेंट टू, बिकॉज मैं कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियर हूँ एंड माय इंटरेस्ट वाज हार्डवेयर. सो आई सेड सर मुझे एम्बेडेड सीखना है. तो ही यूज्ड टू रन अ कोर्स फॉर एम्बेडेड. 1 month 2 months का कोर्स था. मैं सर सिखा दो. एट दिन मैंने उनको ही कन्विंस कर दिया मेरा कोड लिख दो क्योंकि मुझे आ नहीं रहा था. Please sir. So similarly, I set up a journey that started from Nagpur in 2014, and we did our first hardware startup from Nagpur. We showcased in 2017. We won Best Startup Award from Nagpur first, and एक्चुअली नागपुर में 2014 से 2017 तक कोई बहुत कम स्टार्टअप्स होती थी, तो हमको फोन करके बुलाया जाता था, आपको अवार्ड देना है। अब तो उल्टा हो गया है, बट in a way that was the story when we started. And into the I'll give you, ये सब सक्सेस स्टोरी नहीं होती है, there is a lot more behind. And सर जैसे कॉन्टेक्स्ट सेट कर रहे थे, ग्लोबल जाना है, you need to work 18 hours a day. And it's been 10 years journey today. इसलिए आज मैं ऑडियंस से यहाँ स्पीकर बन पाया हूँ. And that it's a very tough journey. It's not a single story. A lot of people are asking me कि कैसे हुआ, क्या हुआ. And to set up a context, नागपुर से ही मैंने first check of 5 lakh rupees बैंक से मुद्रा लोन से स्टार्ट किया था हमने. To the last check, last year हमने 100 करोड़ का भी चेक नागपुर से लिया. Nagpur has a potential and global potential. We are 5% contribution of the GDP of India. So Nagpur is very strong. If you have a will, I met 300 people. और जब भी मैं किससे मिलने जाता हूँ तो उनके बच्चे को क्या पसंद है ये भी पता करके जाता हूँ. So make sure when you are putting something as a founder, you go very thorough. So that gives you a confidence. And I'm part of lot of things. I'll explain. You can Google. वो जाते हैं, हम बात नहीं करेंगे. So I just came from a World Economic Forum meeting. We are part of as a new champions, a deep tech company. उसकी eligibility criteria is 50 million minimum business होना चाहिए. And when we got selected, we were not. And we said, no sir, we want to be part of World Economic Forum. So they said, you have to give a presentation to the team. And then we got selected. We are part of US, we are based in Bangalore, Nagpur and US. So we are part of US Chamber of Commerce. We are part of US Strategic Forum. We are part of CIA. We got a lot of awards from CIA. G20 में we got award from 159 countries. तो ये सब चीजें करने के में ब्रांड बहुत मिला, but काम का क्या, इंग्लिश, तो सब इंग्लिश थी. But at the end, what you want to build, you need to be very clear. And I got a lot of ideas sitting here, attending this kind of sessions, because सर बोला कि कौन टेक्नोलॉजी से ग्लोबल जा सकता है. That was the same mindset from me as a child. At the age of 16, I thought, I come from a business family, so a lot of businesses around me, they're making huge money. आप ब्रह्मपुरी जाएंगे तो 100 million के revenues हैं, and people have so much money, but they were not trying to make an impact. तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि यार impact अगर एक, and that are second generation, third generation businesses. So I thought, if I have to do something in one generation, what is it? And I was very fascinated about science exhibition, doing a lot of stuff in those areas. So I said, yeah, I have a mindset of innovation. Let's take up that thing and start thinking in this direction. Watch YouTube, watch a lot of things to understand कि Steve Jobs कौन थे, Bill Gates कौन थे, ये सब समझ के. नागपुर की इंडिया की उस वक्त स्टोरीज नहीं आती थी. अब तो बहुत सारी स्टोरीज हैं, बट उस वक्त वो जिस्ट लाया ताकि ये करना ही. Because in one decade you can do things only with technology. You cannot go global traditionally. It takes a lot of capital, it takes a lot of time, and technology, the space we chose. बहुत बार ऐसा लगता है सॉफ्टवेयर ले लेते हैं तभी हम यूनिकॉर्न होते हैं. But it's a journey. It's a 10-15 years journey which we have started, and we are there. We are almost there. As I told you, we started very young, and it took me 3-4 years to just learn what to do. And almost 7 years in Nagpur tha, and in COVID we were not doing that well. And then that's how this new journey started. And one of my mentor is here also, Rajesh Mehta, is from main IT. So हम ऐसे ही बात कर रहे थे तो उन्होंने मुझे डायलॉग बोला कि बोले मैं नागपुर से निकलना नहीं चाहता था. We got selected in Delhi, we got selected in Bangalore. तो मैं नागपुर छोड़ना नहीं चाहता था, because यही जिद थी कि नागपुर से बिल्ड करेंगे. तो मुझे उन्होंने एग्जांपल दिया कि गांधी जी को भी साउथ अफ्रीका जाना पड़ा था पढ़ने के लिए ताकि वो आज़ादी दिला सके. The same way when then we thought we have to go global and learn, and the difference between anyone who is successful, success is a very tangible thing which you cannot measure. It's dependent on person to person. जिसका नाम है वो सक्सेसफुल है ज़रूरी नहीं है, जिसके पास पैसा है वो सक्सेसफुल है ज़रूरी नहीं है. सेम वे में the difference is in excess of information. The people who has lot of information are successful because they can make decisions based on that. Similarly, we started our journey. T-second, so I'll just come up thought of giving some of the audience about what we are doing. So I'll set up a context about that. So at T-Second we have created world's smallest form factor for data storage device. हमारी जो hard disk होती है, वैसे एक flash disk होती है, flash drive, तो हमने 1 petabyte का smallest form factor बनाया. So in 1 petabyte is this size, you can put complete Netflix and carry with you. So understand, if you are able to compact that kind of storage into small form factor, what applications it will bring. So a lot of intelligence services, defense, media entertainment, manufacturing, remote locations. यहाँ पे आपको जब data collect करना है, तो this kind of devices being used. And we were doing this journey at a data storage device, and we realized that if we are not part of AI journey, तो हम Nokia बन जाएंगे. We were best at what we are doing, but if we don't adopt the new technology, you will be behind. So we adopted, NVIDIA educated people about GPUs, accelerators, ChatGPT. I was talking to someone a few weeks back that AI is not a new thing. It's from 2 decades. It's just it got popular with consumers through ChatGPT. That gave a boom. Okay, it has AI in defense, warheads, autonomous vehicles was way behind. लोग 10 साल से कर रहे थे उस पे काम. But ChatGPT gave a good popularity. Same way, NVIDIA is now giving a popularity about the infrastructure. So at T-Second we built edge AI infrastructure with storage inbuilt. So that's the core of business we do. Similarly, AI has, for a knowledge, I'll give you, AI has different types: generative AI, predictive AI, shadow AI. ऐसे बहुत सारे AI के types हैं. You can go and ChatGPT में ही बता देता है okay कितने type के, तो मैं I will not bore you with that. But AI has enormous application, and from Nagpur, sitting here, you can build an AI startup. And my objective is, where is that opportunity? Because I travel across a lot of countries and understand where the opportunity is. I want to share that experience with you so that you get clarity where I should invest my next 10 years, 5 years. So that is for sure. AI is that part of AI, deep tech in hardware, semiconductor, quantum technology. These are the few areas where the future will go. And coming with Trump, फिर से blockchain and crypto आ जाएगा. But I think again. So, but in context to that, where you have to invest your skill set, your time, and your money, is these are the few sectors in technology. So coming from that, AI is an extension of machine learning, more of computer vision, lot of applications in industrial automation, factories. You can take decisions then and there. Like someone is, I took an example in one of the construction site. So they have applied a CCTV camera with AI, where they are saying they have to identify people wearing helmet or not. They are doing the work or not. So this kind of AI models have been generated and open source. So we can use this kind of open source model and build a software around it, a solution around it. And hardware companies like us, or a lot of people, big large companies like NVIDIA provides all the platform, ready-made platform from 5 lakh rupees to 50 lakh rupees to 5 crore rupees. So you can use that kind of things to build a startup. And natural language model. There's a biggest project in India is Bhashini, which is government of India is doing a project to be multilingualist. So you can convert anything locally. So for example, when someone asked me in intelligence services that if we have to translate something, a document, we have to go to Google or some international company. Why India cannot build, like I want to transfer from German language to in English or Indian language, somebody will know because I'm going to Google and Google has the data. Why we cannot do ourselves? So that kind of projects have been taken by IITs and NITs to build this kind of projects in natural language and vision kind of thing. And I think vision will be the biggest area to spend your energy on. Similarly, biggest market as a customer is of course US because they spend a lot of money. जहाँ पैसा खर्चा होता है वही सबसे बड़ा मार्केट होता है. तो पैसा डॉलर कन्वर्जन में ही पैसा कमाया जाता है. But mass you get it here. So I think Bill Gates recently made a statement, India is a very good test market, and people got offended. But it's true. We are a country which are not used to, because we have our different challenges. We are not investing in adopting new technology. We are still struggling with our basic needs. So our focus is to fulfill that. That's the reason we are a large consumption market. So India is a bigger market to test, but to earn, of course, you have to go international. So European and North America market is bigger as a customer earning. So that is the other industry going on. So some of the data which you can also find, which I have put together so that you can think in that direction to build something. Because a lot of talent is there in Nagpur, a lot of zeal is there, it's just you need right direction. And for us, we want to give back what we have learned. We took 10 years, maybe you will take 5 years. But you should have that zeal. और ऐसे बहुत सारे दिन आते हैं जब खाने के लिए भी पैसे नहीं होते. Wherever family you come from, that's the situation for each founder. Similarly, edge is a very bigger market because data center environments पे सब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Especially countries like India, there are remote vast land. If some data has to be collected in remote site, you cannot put a data center there. So you need infrastructure for that kind of environment. So you can focus in investing, building something which is factory driven, which is oil and gas driven, which is remote location driven, where the environment is not that good. So that some big companies who are focusing on data center market or a lot of big good market, these small markets are being left out. Larger goal as well. So you can reach to that bigger goal as well. So these are the few sectors we also focus. So I know about these sectors, which is aerospace, defense and enterprise. Enterprises is large, it could be bank, it could be manufacturing, it could be oil and gas or energy. We are doing a lot of projects in energy sectors also. Defense is the biggest market for the country today. A lot of budget, industry of animation or explosive is in Nagpur in terms of one space. There are a lot of big companies who has different space, but 2,000 acres in one space is in Nagpur. And as a value wise, as a market cap, they are the largest in the world as well. As a revenue, there are Australian and American companies who are larger than them, but Nagpur has that kind of potential, building global #1 companies from a city like Nagpur. So defense is a bigger sector to invest in. If you can build any technology related to defense, it will work in current scenario. In next 5-10 years, people want to replicate or reverse engineer from US or Israel or Turkey or this kind of countries who build a lot of defense technology. So if you are having some ideas, like you got learned about that, okay, this is application is being used in defense sector, can I reverse engineer it? Nothing wrong in reinvent. You don't have to reinvent everything. You can copy and make it better as a country. And eventually once you have your, बोलते हैं ना, खाना खाने मिलेगा दाल चावल तो बिरयानी खाने का मजा आएगा. सेम वे पहले आप रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग कर दो, कोई प्रोडक्ट बिल्ड कर दो, उससे रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम जनरेट करो, and then you build innovation, invention and make IPs. Will work. So that is the power of AI will bring in. Leveraging AI in technology, like we are doing one project which is a soldier wearing a VR glass, seeing everything, and he has a platform in the backpack and deciding who has arms, what arms they have, analyzing everything. So a lot of enhancement will happen in defense sector using AI. And there are a lot of, UN has a committee for ethics in AI. Like they want to make sure we don't misuse the AI in defense sector. Because if humans are not fighting, we will fight forever and we will invest forever. So that is also very controlled environment. So you should be aware about that. So vision for Nagpur, I think I gave you an example. I am standing an example here who has done from here. Not from IIT, not from Stanford, not from Harvard, raised money from Nagpur. Scale I also told from first check of 5 lakhs to last check of 100 crores from Nagpur. So everything is possible. You just have to have that perseverance and dedication to build something. So that's all. Thank you. Any questions? Do we have time? Because we are running late. नागपुर की आदत है ना, हम थोड़ा लेट चलते हैं. Please.
सर आपके 3 सबसे बड़े प्रॉब्लम्स बताइए जो आपने सॉल्व किए थे.
Company, we are competing with NetApp, Pure Storage, Dell. You cannot match their pricing, you cannot match their presence. So that is the other challenge. As a building the trust in the customer is the second, I would say. And third, majorly I think building the right team at right timing. So because from 1 crore to 10 crore journey in business is different, 10 crore to 100 crore is different, 100 crore to 1000 crore is there. So our journey was from 110, now 10 to 100, 100 to 1000 now. So we need talent, that kind of talent who can manage. Even sometimes I feel I am not capable of managing a lot of things. So I have to bring a lot of seniors. I'll give an example. So investors from Nagpur, is my board member, is my largest investor from day one. Jay Chopde, he was very much involved in TIE. So, and a lot of investors, including Rajesh sir, I have hired them. तो मुझे बोलते साहब पैसा भी हमसे लिया, काम भी हमसे करा है. तो that's how you have to find right talent to learn, because you don't have time कि आप 10 साल तक CEO बनने के learning करो. I am 33. I have to manage a lot of people globally, so I have to learn quickly. So every 3 months, 6 months, you have to learn new things. So that is the major third challenge.
किया था कंपनी का, एक छोटा सा रूम था 10 बाय 10 का, जहाँ पे एंट्री करने के लिए झुक के जाना पड़ता था.
2.5 साल तक मैं उस ऑफिस में था. Even today there is one investor will come later. He told me कि आप अपने ऑफिस में एसी क्यों नहीं लगाते? मैंने कहा जरूरत नहीं है, कूलर से काम होता है नागपुर में.
इतनी हम्बल स्टार्टिंग की हो रहा है जिस स्टेज पे, तो फील वेरी प्राउड कि आपने चाहूँगा कि अभी मैं आपकी मेंटरिंग मुझे चाहिए.
So there was this research done recently, that is 3 days ago. It was in a very controlled environment. What they did is made ChatGPT 4.0, model 4.0, believe that it was going to shut down. What it did is started making copies of itself in the background and then lied to the user that I'm not doing it. So my question is giving power, like we are going forward, we will give more power to AI. So will this affect us in very bad way to AI as well as edge?
See, I'll give you an example and answer to this in a very different way. Did you see the movie 2012?
Yeah.
So we thought in 2012 world will go away. Similarly, every technology when it is built, it has difference. Facebook even is misused today. Similarly, AI will be also used. But there are people who will do controls. There will be policies, there will be law to maintain AI. So we will put into a right use only. We are humans. At the end, we'll do some misuse, but 99% will do a major use of right use. So AI will never become more powerful than humans. So we will know how to control that code, make the fool out of it, or make that train well, because training is, lot of data has been going on. So you remember, as I was giving an example of e-commerce, so there was a shop in tier 3, tier 4, which was buying at a discount from his own shop and selling it to the Flipkart, because Flipkart was giving discount. So India has a different mindset. वो अपना ही product अपनी ही website से ले रहा है. So similarly, AI in this context also will be misused and have a lot of challenges its own, but we will give power and it will solve a lot of our day-to-day problems.
Also, what are your thoughts on Sam Altman, the blue backpack? Do you know about it?
I know briefly, but I think a lot of things will, they are trying. We don't, sitting here, we don't have a lot of excess of information which they have. They are trying to build for future. Once they were building on stealth mode, ChatGPT was building from last 1 decade, and it came out of last 2-3 years. Similarly, that which we are hearing because of social media, a lot of misinformation comes in, but this could be used for next 5 years, 10 years. So they invest in future. Typically, we are the consumption, as I said, market. So we are learning and we do miss. WhatsApp University makes differences. But at the end, people will make good use of things.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing all the insight. And I'm sure there are a lot of new founders are here, and they have received great insights and how your journey, from Nagpur to US, global. So yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Sahil. So now I request Dr. Rizwan Ahmed to present a memento to our guest.
Put it for.
Thank you, Sahil and Dr. Rizwan. Okay. I request team to please put up the presentation.
Good. It's good afternoon now. So good afternoon, everybody. To tell you something about me, I'm Ninad. I'm a hardcore Nagpurian. I was born, brought up, educated. Fortunately, unfortunately, also married in Nagpur. So the thing about me is, I started as a coder, as a developer in my career, but eventually moved on into business development. And because of business development, I had a chance to, move across different countries, different places, and got a lot of exposure. So today what I'm going to talk about is how we can take our solutions, our technology from Nagpur or anywhere on a global level. Basically sales वाला आदमी हो तो बेचना आता है तो बेचने की बात करूँगा, ज़्यादा ज्ञान की बात नहीं है, एकदम मुद्दे की बात करूँगा. Okay, now this is literally something that happened to me about 2 weeks back. As a hobby, my hobby is photography. I was on a wildlife photography expedition with some people. I was sitting in a room and we were 4 of us. One person was ex-CTO of a very large e-commerce company. Other person was running a hedge fund. And the third person was CF of a large business conglomerate. He was from Chennai. And we introduced ourselves. I was meeting them for the first time. And they told me one is from Bangalore, another from Mumbai, and the third guy from Chennai. And when I said I'm from Nagpur, they said, what do you do? So I said, I work for a software company. So they said, oh, you mean BPO? I said, why the hell BPO? Because they think if somebody is working in an IT industry in Nagpur, then it only means BPO. We people sitting in this room need to change this mindset. Everybody else outside is thinking Nagpur has only BPOs. No, there are. Sahil is a classic example. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything about Sahil till now. And I'm sure there are plenty of other such stories from Nagpur. And the reason people are thinking like this is because we are not proactive. We are not telling what we do in Nagpur. We are not telling about ourselves. We are not telling about others, fellow Nagpurians. So this, we need to be a bit proactive about it. That is my opinion. So this was my recent experience. Now, why should we think global and go global and try to take our solutions, our products outside the country? In the image, you can see a container ship. Probably it is worth hundreds of crores or maybe 1,000 crores. I don't know the value of it. What do you think, students, young guys, where is that ship safest? Where is the ship most safe? What do you think? Pardon, sir? I would say it's safest in the harbor. No damage can happen to it if it's in the harbor. But it can make money and recover its cost only if it enters the high seas and faces those storms. Otherwise, it's not going to make money at all. So it can make money when it can get into unsafe waters and territories. If we actually, individuals as well as our companies, are much more worth than those ships. But we are comfortable in our harbors. We are not willing to go outside. So it is high time that we go outside, we get into high seas, face those storms. Only then we can make money and also do justice to our potential. So, that is the reason we should be thinking global and leaving our harbors. What I mean by that is leaving our comfort zones. Why from Nagpur? Why not from anywhere else? We are blessed to be in Nagpur. Believe you me, I work in 18 different countries. My passport has work visas and permits of 18 countries. I've seen world. After that, I'm saying we are blessed and lucky to be in Nagpur. Ahuja ji mentioned a lot about Nagpur, that he feels unlucky that he missed the bus of coming back to Nagpur. I used to feel like that, but recently, since last 3 years, I'm back in Nagpur now. Now the thing is, Nagpur is center of India. We have our 0 mile store here. All the distances of India are calculated from our city, very close from here. And today, India is the center of the world. The whole world is looking at us. Be it for our political leadership, be it for our culture, be it for IT industry, be it for financial services, everything. Moreover, we are the fastest growing economy also. So we are at the center of the world today. So the country is at the center of the world, the city is at the center of the country. So we are best suited to go elsewhere. We should be going global. Now something about Europe. What is happening in Europe? I don't know if all of you agree with me, but I would say most of these European countries were colonialists. They established their colonies. They are still living in that history world. They are not doing anything new now. That's my personal opinion, of course. They are just living on the looted wealth. I don't think there's not much of manufacturing in Europe as of today. They are dependent on China for their factories. They are dependent on the rest of the world. But I think Europe is living in history. There's nothing much happening. I worked in Europe, I worked in different countries. Based on that exposure, I dare say this. Not many people will agree with me. But in my opinion, Europe is something that is still enjoying the fruits of its history, not doing something new. Okay, US is coming out with a lot of new technologies, new products, lot of R&D. Here it is more theoretical in Europe, but nothing concrete. That's my opinion. So in my opinion, Europe is living in history. Japan. You mentioned, sir, about Japan. It was in cultural context. Yesterday when I was listening to Maitri sir at IIM, he mentioned about Japan, which I totally agree with him. Today, Japan has the eldest population in the world. They have potential, they don't have workforce. So Maitri sir shared with all of us yesterday that a delegation from Japan recently was at IIM Nagpur. DJ knows about it. And they mentioned that please provide us the workforce who are fluent in Japanese also. So if they need this, they will be needing a lot of other things too. So that is another focus area where we can look at. I'm sharing these insights about Europe, about Japan, and rest of the geographies to give you an idea of what is lacking, what is missing in those geographies. How we can think about it and make best use of it. What is
happening in the UK. Look at the way UK's economy is moving. They just came out of the EU. The inflation levels, they just changed their government and brought in the Labour Party. The reason being, nobody is happy there. The taxation levels, the cost of living has skyrocketed in UK. I was there last year, so I know it for sure. Things are changing. There's a lot of potential in UK because they need to bring their costs down. There's a lot of potential, provided we reach there. Africa, this is my favorite territory. You know, in 1991, Manmohan Singh presented the budget under Prime Minister Marcia Rao's government. That was the defining moment for India. I missed that bus in 1991. The Infosys, the TCSs, and all these IT companies from India got onto that bus in 1991, and they're enjoying the fruits today. Africa is exactly at that same bus stop today, of 1991. We people are ignoring Africa. And to some extent, I would also say, Latin America region is similar to Africa, has a lot of potential. But these two geographies, most of Indian companies are ignoring. I have worked a lot in Africa, especially in southern and eastern part of it. So I know the potential that Africa brings. Whatever we want to take it there, be it technology, be it healthcare, be it education, be it agri-commodities, everything is needed there. So there's a lot of potential, and all of us should be targeting Africa. So, okay, I'll tell you this incident about a calculator. I was in London, and there's a suburb of London, Wimbledon, where everyone knows £4.20 for one ticket. So I gave him a £10 note. The person, the ticket vendor, used a calculator to calculate how much is 420 into 2. So I laughed at it. So he said, "Are you Indian? Why are you laughing?" I said, "Yes, I'm Indian." And I just laughed because you cannot do basic calculations. He said, "We have a calculator to do this. Why should we tax our brains?" The biggest learning I got was, they use calculator for menial tasks. Imagine the potential we have for our technology solutions. They cannot use brains, they don't have enough brains, believe you me. They're the dumbest people. We are way smarter than those goras. गोरों से बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे हैं हम लोग. हमारा 5वीं 6वीं का बच्चा उनसे ज़्यादा समझ सकता है. उनके एजुकेशन स्टैंडर्ड्स बहुत लो है. आप लोग जो कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे हैं शायद, आपको आज भी 25, 26, 27, 30 तक के टेबल्स याद होंगे. वहाँ के बड़े आदमियों को नहीं मालूम. कभी याद भी नहीं किए उन लोगों ने. सो वो ये कैलकुलेटर पे ₹4.20 इंटू 2 कितना होता है उसको कैलकुलेटर लगता है. तो अगर कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करते हो तो डेफिनेटली वहाँ मार्केट है. उनको अकल नहीं है. ये मेरा खुद का तजुर्बा है. सो ऐसे बहुत किस्से तजुर्बे हैं मेरे पास, पर ये उनमें से एक है. अभी इंडिया एक्सपोर्ट क्या करता है? हर चीज की है हमने. योगासन, अब इंटरनेशनल योगा डे हो गया यूनाइटेड नेशंस का. अपने मोदी जी हर साल एक दिन योगा करते हैं, हमको भी करवाते हैं. सुबह उठ के सूर्य नमस्कार डालिए, और पीयर प्रेशर की वजह से करना भी पड़ता है. डांस, हमारा डांस पूरी दुनिया जानती है. डांस फॉर्म्स, हमारा म्यूजिक, इट इज सेड कि 24 घंटे में कभी ना कभी दुनिया के किसी ना किसी कोने में रेडियो वेव्स पे लता मंगेशकर जी का गाना चलते रहता है. कोई ना कोई हमारे यहाँ गाने भी सुन रहा है. नॉट ओनली वोकल म्यूजिक, इंस्ट्रूमेंटल म्यूजिक इंडिया का चल रहा है. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव बीन एक्सपोर्टिंग. नागपुर से क्या एक्सपोर्ट हुआ आज तक? टिल रिसेंटली सिर्फ संतरा, आई मीन द फूड. बोतल वाला मत सोचना. सो मैं सिर्फ इसकी बात कर रहा हूँ. ओके, ऑफ कोर्स since last few years we are also exporting. The prominent company from Nagpur is into defense sector, which is exporting a lot of goods. Okay, that is fine, but majority we've been exporting only oranges, nothing else. Now, what can we export from India or from Nagpur for that matter? We have, if I'm not wrong, 3 IT parks in Nagpur. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. One was in Sadar, near the government polytechnic. Second was the IT park. And the third is at Mihan. Yeah, but we three. So if we have 3 IT parks, we have sufficient companies. So there's a lot of potential. The only thing is, most of the companies in Nagpur, the IT companies, are thinking of adhering to clients in and around Maharashtra or in India. Not many of them are thinking of going global. Probably they need some mentoring, or they need some support, they need some networking, but we should be going because we have technology, we have the passion, we have the expertise, the market potential is available outside, but we are not going. So this is something that we should be definitely focusing on. Nagpur has a lot of potential. We have our application solutions, and the only thing missing, I think, probably is we are not networking enough. If the young guys can network among themselves, there's a lot of potential. Most of the people sitting here, everybody has his or her own network. If these people can be connected, there's a market potential in this room, which can be tapped. So this is something that we should be taking outside India. दूसरी बात मैंने सुनी है लोगों से कि भाई हमको अंग्रेजी उतनी अच्छी नहीं आती तो हम बाहर नहीं जा सकते. Believe you me guys, अंग्रेजी का कोई लेन देन नहीं है. कॉन्फिडेंस चाहिए, बात करती आनी चाहिए. एक मैंने किताब पढ़ी थी काफी साल पहले, आजीबाई बनारसे नाम की लेडी थी. She was from a place called as Devri near Pulgaon in Wardha district, and she went all the way to UK. उनकी ऑटोबायोग्राफी का नाम है लंदन चा आजीबाई. इफ पॉसिबल प्लीज रीड इट. उस लेडी को हिंदी तक नहीं आती थी, अंग्रेजी दूर की बात थी. वो लेडी 50 साल के बाद जब उनका देहांत हुआ लंदन में, शी वाज वन ऑफ द रिचेस्ट लेडी इन इंग्लैंड विदाउट नोइंग अ वर्ड ऑफ इंग्लिश. इफ शी कैन डू इट, शी वाज इलिटरेट फॉर दैट मैटर. वो एक मूवी आई थी शकुंतला देवी पे, विद्या बालन जी की. उसमें वो जो मेस में रहती हैं, वो थी लंदन चाचीबाई. So read about her. If she can succeed, why not we? We have smartphones in our pocket. कोई सामने वाला जापानीज में बात करता है, फोन ट्रांसलेट करके बता रहा है. So language barrier तो कतई नहीं है. So ये दिमाग से निकाल दो, मुझे अंग्रेजी नहीं आती, मैं कैसे बाहर जाके बिजनेस करूंगा. Please.
I think कल मैंने शेयर किया था ये वाला पॉइंट. एक स्टूडेंट्स हैं आप लोग, इसलिए बता रहा हूँ राइटर नोट. MBA में मिस्टर फ्रेशर होता है, आजकल नहीं होता है मिस्टर फ्रेशर. मिस्टर फ्रेशर के लिए मेरे को उन्होंने बोला कि मैं जाता हूँ, एंड देन आई हैड कंपटीशन में 5 लड़के थे, 5 लड़कियाँ अलग से थी, मिस फ्रेशर और मिस्टर फ्रेशर. इवन तो मुझे काफ़ी ठीक ठाक इंग्लिश आती थी उस टाइम में, बट आई चोज नॉट टू टॉक इन इंग्लिश. जब वो कंपटीशन चल रहा था, जानबूझ के मैंने हिंदी में बात करी, तुकबंदी करी, जैसे हम बात करते रहे. थोड़ा अलग मजा आता है बात करने में. ऑब्वियसली गेस व्हाट, आई बिकेम मिस्टर फ्रेशर. और बाकी लोग जिनको टूटी फूटी इंग्लिश आती थी, जबरदस्ती इंग्लिश में बात करना चाह रहे थे वो लोग. तो दिस इज आई वांटेड टू शेयर दिस कि ऐसा जो आपको जो एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हो आप उस पर करो और अपना काम पूरा करो और अवार्ड लेके जाओ.
Thank you. So language is not a barrier. मैं ऐसे देशों में गया हूँ जहाँ पे अंग्रेजी नहीं बोली जाती और मुझे हिंदी, मराठी, अंग्रेजी के अलावा चौथी लैंग्वेज नहीं आती, पर मैंने वहाँ काम किया रहा है, खुशी से रहा हूँ. होता है काम. तो दिमाग से प्लीज निकाल दो द यंग गाइज, लैंग्वेज इज नॉट अ बैरियर. अब एक्सपोर्ट्स करने के लिए, बाहर जाने के लिए करना क्या होगा? तो मेहनत करनी होगी. नागपुर का आदमी बेसिकली थोड़ा आलसी है. उसका कारण भी यह है कि हम जहाँ पैदा हुए ना, यहाँ की सॉइल बड़ी फर्टाइल है, आसानी से उग जाता है, तो उसकी आदत लग गई है. तो मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी और राइट माइंडसेट भी लगेगा. साहिल जस्ट मेंशन 18 घंटे काम करनी पड़ेगी. आहूजा साहब बोले कि बॉस फाउंडर हो तो बहुत कमर तोड़ मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, आसानी से नहीं होता. तो वो करोगे तो एक चट्टान ऊपर ले जानी है, पर हो जाएगा. देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन, देयर आर नो शॉर्टकट्स. बहुत पेसिमिज्म मिलेगा, लोग पीछे खींचेंगे, डीमोटिवेट करेंगे. डोंट पे एनी हिट टू देम. बी फोकस्ड, कीप टॉयलिंग इट आउट, देयर इज ऑलवेज सक्सेस. दूसरी जरूरी बात, ज्यादा सोचो मत यार, कर डालो. सोचने में ही सब तकलीफ होती है. एक नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू का एक लेक्चर मैंने अटेंड किया था, उन्होंने एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोली थी, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, ये एक बड़ी तकलीफ है। हम ये सोचते हैं लोग क्या कहेंगे, अरे खुद क्या सोच रहे हैं, खुद क्या कहेंगे ये सोचो एंड कीप डूइंग इट। ओवर थिंकिंग मत करो कि टू बिली व्हाट इफ एनालिसिस इन एक्सेल डजंट हेल्प। इफ यू हैव दैट गट फीलिंग, यू वांट टू गो आउट, जस्ट गो आउट। What matters is your own self-belief, nothing else. I would give an example here, which is also related to the last slide, which was about language barrier. How many of you know this name, Akira Morita? Anybody? Nobody from the young. Okay, he was founder of Sony. When he went, he manufactured the tape recorder, and he went to the US to sell it. He went by a ship and he didn't know English. He stayed there for a few months and came with a bag full of orders. उनको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती थी, ओके, और ज्यादा सोचते नहीं बैठे कि इसका क्या करूंगा, चले गए यूएस और सोनी बन गया। रेस्ट ऑल इज हिस्ट्री। और बहुत कुछ है मिस्टर मोरिटा की लाइफ से सीखने के लिए, सिर्फ ये बता रहा हूँ, he didn't overthink, he executed his plan and he didn't think about the language barrier. So हम लोग भी ना सोचें। मैंने लैंग्वेज बैरियर के बारे में जी यहाँ तक लोगों से एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि नागपुर में मराठी बोलते हैं, पुणे जाके डिफरेंट मराठी में बात करते हैं, इन्फिनिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स आ रहा है। अरे छोड़ो यार, हमारी मराठी है, वो हमारी मदर टंग है, वो वहाँ की मराठी डिफरेंट है। गांधी जी बोल के गए हर 7 मील के बाद लैंग्वेज चेंज होती है यहाँ पर, विच इज अ फैक्ट। हमारी मराठी का ये ग्रामर है, पुणे मुंबई की मराठी का ग्रामर डिफरेंट है। हमारे ग्रामर को उनकी यार्डस्टिक से मत गिनो, ये मराठी में एप्लीकेबल है तो बाकी लैंग्वेजेस के लिए जैसा बनता है चलते चलो, आगे बढ़ना है। ओके, नाउ एग्जीक्यूशन। मेरा आईडी नहीं है यहाँ पर, सही में नहीं है, आज तक नहीं है। मोस्ट ऑफ द लोगों का फेसबुक आईडी होगा, राइट? फेसबुक यूज करते होंगे, सबने वो मूवी भी देखी होगी, द सोशल नेटवर्क, कि उसने कैसे बनाया फेसबुक। कुछ फैक्ट होगा, कुछ फिक्शन होगा, पर आज फेसबुक बहुत बड़ा है, नो डाउट्स। ये तीनों कंपनीज इंडिया की है। आपको क्या लगता है इनके पास बहुत पैसे थे, आसानी से बन गए? अभी साहिल ने जो किस्सा बताया, 3 साल यहां पे बैठा था, आज यहां आ गया है, राइट? He should be there. I didn't know about Sahil, otherwise Sahil's logo would have been there of T-second. Believe you me. So ये सब है, तो ये इंडियन कंपनीज भी आसानी से नहीं बनी है। They have gone through a lot of turmoil. Oyo, what was the age when he started? उसने अपना ग्रेजुएशन में एडमिशन भी नहीं लिया। Agrawal, Ritesh Agrawal, if I'm not wrong, right? So Zomato, how much has he struggled? Make my trip. They are available in all the countries today. It's not there only in India. हमको बड़ी खुशी होती है फेसबुक का एग्जाम्पल सुनने में, पर हमारे होम ग्रोन कंपनीज भी हैं, एंड दे फेस एडवर्सिटीज, दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव सक्सीडेड। विदाउट एडवर्सिटीज नोबडी विल सक्सीड, बिलीव यू मी। सो डोंट बी स्केयर्ड ऑफ एडवर्सिटीज एंड डोंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ स्मूथ राइड, इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी रफ राइड। नाउ व्हाट कैन वी एक्सपोर्ट टुडे? Now, I'm a bit selfish here. Rizwan knows I'm from the fintech background, so is Rizwan. So, as you mentioned about UPI, most of the countries where I travel to Africa, the African governments and people there are asking me, how can we implement UPI in their countries? So that is something that we can do. Apart from UPI, India is pioneer in cashless transactions. How we have, without UPI also we can transform our country's economy into digital economy. Even if because Indian government, if it's not willing to give them UPI, there are other ways which we are doing. Everything digital, e-commerce. We have homegrown companies, something like Flipkart, which was again bought by a US company, but we have homegrown companies. So this is what we can do. There are a lot of things that can be done in the fintech world. Agri-tech. Sahil is doing a fantastic job. One SSD drive which can hold 1 huge whole Netflix into a small device, that much of technology driven, पर उससे रोटी नहीं खा सकेंगे, रोटी तो खेत से ही आएगी। तो ये सेक्टर पे जो काम करेगा वो फिनटेक से ज़्यादा बड़ा है। Somehow this is very neglected sector, agri-tech, which I am really looking forward to. Agri-tech में बहुत potential है, the whole world is betting for agri-techs, not just fintechs. So this is something that can be worked upon and exported. Health tech, classic example, आज से कुछ साल पहले कोविड के लॉकडाउन हो गए, हम सबको वैक्सीन्स मिल गए, एक नहीं, दो नहीं, 3 मिल गए, उसके सर्टिफिकेट्स मिल गए, सब पेपरलेस हुआ, इंस्टेंटली हुआ, किसी को गलत सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिले, किसी को ज्यादा नहीं मिले, किसी को कम नहीं मिले. This was all health tech. This is just one classic example that we could develop. Similar lot of things, in health tech there are so many things, devices, diagnostics, patient care, so many things which we can take to the world. It is not just one domain. Individual freelancing. There are so many platforms available today from where people can individually freelance. My hobby is photography, so I saw my friends on their photos, they have their signature logos. I never had. I used to just type my name on it. So everybody told me it looks pathetic. Why can't you have a signature logo? So I tried scribbling my signature, which looked even more shabby. So for the first time, I used a freelancer online. For something like $12, he gave me a signature logo in 2 hours. If this can be done, like Ahujaji mentioned, today people are learning santur online. So if you know how to play santur, you know how to play tabla, you can teach it online. That is freelancing. There are tools available. Or then there are large-scale outsourcing activities, which can happen. But this all can happen from Nagpur. Fortunately, we have good educational institutions in Nagpur. Most of the guys are well educated. They have the potential. If you don't have a company, start your company. Not a company, be an individual freelancer. There's a lot that can be done. But earn Forex. Now this case study. I hope we have time, or should I wind up? 5 minutes? Okay, I'll just rush through this. Okay, this is one case study. The first time I pitched a solution to some country in Africa. That country is called as Malawi. Are you guys aware of such a country? Okay, it's a landlocked country, and Malawi is world's 2nd largest tobacco grower. A very small country, but tobacco grower. So they wanted a solution for registration of tobacco growers. And how it should not be, there should be deduplication. And this I'm talking about 2006. When I went to Malawi, I was told to travel to Malawi. I thought Malawi is the name of a city. My question was, this city is in which country? I didn't know it's a country. But then we conceptualized this whole project, we pitched to them, and the government bought it. We finished the project in 2007. Today we are towards the end of 2024, they are still using it. So these kind of solutions are available, and we should be working on those. I'll just rush. Second example, this is something I pitched to various counties in the UK, and which was again a fintech-based solution, which was through a card, how we can enable their pensions and healthcare benefits and other subsidies. That I've been involved in. Because of paucity of time, I'll just rush through, but offline, I would be willing to discuss this case studies in detail. My favorite topic, there are so many banking applications, the whole world is looking at us today, that they want Indian solutions in banking and financial and insurance sector, the BFSI sector. So, the financial inclusion thing, I'm pitching these solutions a lot in Africa also today, also in Southeast Asia. This can be done. Doorstep banking, which is safe, secure, encrypted. That is our forte of Indian companies, which we should be taking. Conclusion. हमारे पास संतरा है, zero milestone है और साउजी है. ठीक है? पर हमारे पास यहाँ पे trained, educated workforce भी है. It's time to go out in the world. यहाँ रुको मत. That's all from my side. Thank you. Any questions? प्लीज।
सर, जैसे मेरे पास कोई प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस है जिसको मुझे लोकली सेल करना है, लोकली सेल करना है पहले, उसके लिए एक या दो क्या कॉम्पिटेंसीज होनी चाहिए जो मुझे डेवलप करना है, और उसी चीज को अगर मुझे ग्लोबली सेल करना है तो उसके लिए एक या दो क्या कॉम्पिटेंसीज होनी चाहिए।
प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए। चलता है नहीं चलेगा, बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा। आप कोई प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो तो वो प्रोडक्ट सबसे अच्छा है, ये आपका कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए। वो कॉन्फिडेंस रखिए और उतनी ईमानदारी से वो प्रोडक्ट बनाइए भी। उसमें अगर थोड़ी भी 19-20 बात है तो नहीं चलेगा। आप ऐसा करके अगर वो प्रोडक्ट कहीं इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में ले गए तो आपकी रेपुटेशन खराब होगी, आपके शहर की होगी, आपकी स्टेट की होगी, आपके देश की होगी। वो प्लीज मत कीजिए, तो वो अवॉइड कीजिए। फिर दूसरा कॉम्पिटेंसी जो होना चाहिए वो है यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंट्रिकसीज। ऐसा नहीं है टिकट निकाल दिया, हवाई जहाज में बैठ गए, वहां गए और बोले ये भाई साहब ये ले लो, ये ले लो, ये ले लो। आपको थोड़ा रिसर्च करनी होगी, आपको आपका होमवर्क करना होगा, वो प्रिपरेशन करके वहां जाना होगा। यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर, यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर सक्सेस, यू कैन नॉट बी होपिंग फॉर सक्सेस। सो एक होमवर्क और दूसरा सॉलिड तगड़ा प्रोडक्ट, ये दो चीज लगेंगे। Please.
Sir, my name is Aniket.
Yes.
First of all, I'll start with saying that it was an amazing session.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thoroughly liked it a lot.
Thank you.
In terms of fintech, like you said, if I'm a young entrepreneur and I want to start from NAGPUR, practically what should be the first step as a mindset and also in the ground reality to begin with? Ultimately, the mindset is of global expansion and all those things, but what should be practically the first step to start as an entrepreneur in the fintech domain?
Okay. I don't think I can answer that totally because I'm not an entrepreneur, never been into business. Okay, so I'm not qualified to answer that. Probably Mr. Rao or Ahuja sir, would you please take this? He wants to know, he's a budding entrepreneur, what he needs to become a better entrepreneur. I've never been into business, so not qualified to answer that. Yeah, he wants to use the fintech.
अलग से मिल लो, बिल्कुल हम लोग मिलेंगे अलग से, बट मे बी फॉर अदर्स बेनिफिट। द क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला एक होता है लेकिन बेनिफिट कहीं ज़्यादा किसी और को मिलता है, उसीलिए उसके पहले मैं सवाल पूछता हूँ उल्टा, किसको लगता है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के लिए पैसा चाहिए? वेरी गुड, तो मैंने फंडिंग बिजनेस बंद कर दो, फिर क्या करूँगा यार? नहीं, सबसे पहले एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के लिए आई थिंक यू हर्ड फ्रॉम हिम आल्सो दैट आपको खुद को बिलीव, I like what he said, analysis paralysis, दुनिया भर के सिनेरियो प्लानिंग ये वो सब। अगर ऐसा होता तो दुनिया में सबसे पहले एंटरप्रेन्योर जो बैठे थे उनको तो पता ही नहीं था कि घोड़ा गाड़ी से कार कैसे बनाना, राइट? कौन सा एनालिसिस किया उन्होंने? पहला तो गट फील, उसको छोड़ना मत। कई लोग आपको अलग अलग सलाह देंगे। दूसरी बात, आप ऐसे लोगों से सलाह बिल्कुल मत लेना जस्ट बिकॉज वो आपके सीनियर हैं, बड़े हैं, उन्होंने खुद कुछ नहीं किया। आई एम हैप्पी वेरी आई थिंक राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर निनाद व्हेन ही सेड कि मैं नहीं हूँ एंटरप्रेन्योर। So be genuine. Actually मतलब ये क्वालिटी है इनमें ऑलरेडी। Be genuine। जो एंटरप्रेन्योर होता है ना उसमें क्वालिटी होती है कि मैं जो नहीं हूँ बता दूँ। मैं बताता हूँ आपको मैं कैसे बना एंटरप्रेन्योर। मैं आज उस बंदे को मेरा चाइनीज़ कस्टमर है, मेरे पास सिंगापुर में कोई भी ऐसा नहीं कि इंडियन कस्टमर बने मेरे। मैं उससे आज भी पूछता हूँ, फॉर्चुनेटली इज माई कस्टमर टुडे एज वेल। वो बंदे ने मेरे 11th मंथ में 11 महीने लगे मेरे को पहला बिजनेस लाने में। उसको मैंने पूछा अभी मेरे 10th एनिवर्सरी पे आया, जब वो दूसरी कंपनी में गया फिर से मेरा कस्टमर बन गया। मैंने उसको एक ही बात पूछी, अब यहाँ पे आईटी वाले बहुत सारे लोग हैं इसलिए मैं वो भी शेयर करता हूँ आपको, कि मैं उल्टा पूछा उसको, भाई तूने मेरे को लिया ही क्यों एज अ वेंडर, एज अ पार्टनर, मेरे को क्यों बिजनेस दिया? यू न्यू कि मैं न्यू। बाय द वे द गाय वाज डायरेक्टर ऑफ अ हेल्थ केयर गवर्नमेंट कंपनी इन सिंगापुर एंड ही न्यू आई एम अ न्यू वेंडर स्टार्टिंग नाउ। उसने एक ही बात बोली, मैंने कहा अच्छा तुम जो भी बात बोल रहे थे तो आई कुड सी कि जो आप बोल रहे हो आप सच बोल रहे हो, genuine बोल रहे हो। I could see and I could trust you. So if you ask me, have guts, trust in yourself. कोई भी जो मैं वहाँ भी बोल रहा था, काट कसर नहीं करना है, इससे तो काम बन जाएगा, इससे पैसे कमाई ज़्यादा हो जाएगी पैसे। और दूसरी बात तो मैं बोलूँगा एंटरप्रेन्योर को पैसे कमाने का सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए। Has to be solving the problem. Solve करोगे पैसा आपके पीछे आएगा। मेरे फादर ने एक बात सिखाई है, never go behind money, go behind capabilities, money will follow you. That's it.
Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Ninalji. I request Mr. Amitabh Khannaji to please present the memento to our guests. Thank you, Ninalji and Amitabhji. So moving to next keynote, India's innovation engine, the power of IP in driving tech growth. I am delighted to welcome Mr. Dhananjay Kumar Das, IP Solution Head, Sagacious IP.
Thank you everyone for having me on the stage, and thank you Nagpur first for organizing this wonderful session, and especially the technology track. And I believe that being an IP company, IP service providing company, we should be present in this track chair and be talking about IP a bit. We have heard from everyone about innovation, the companies they have built and the technology they have developed for the world from Nagpur, but now we should also considering IP as an important part of the innovation. And so business can start without maybe innovation, just to, like Sahil said, that reverse engineer something and start your business to kickstart and let the revenue come to your business or the company. But then later in the stage to achieve that great milestones or great growth, you need support of IP as well. So we would be talking about IP a bit. I'll briefly talk about Sagacious IP. And so Sagacious IP also has the same kind of journey. It may not be started, it started in Delhi, but now having a center in Nagpur also. So I am heading that center, and you can see this world map. So we started from Delhi, and from there, so from there we have the yellow location icons. You can see we have, these are our operation bases. So in India we are present in 3 states or cities, I would say, Delhi, Nagpur and Bangalore. And we also have one office in Shanghai, that's in China. And rest of the offices are our customer service offices, where we are helping our customers. So you can understand that how global we have gone just from India and starting let's say 15 years ago. So this is a brief summary of Sagacious IP that we have been getting to some of the world's largest companies, startups, law firms, patent law firms I would rather say, in protecting their IP, monetizing their IP, defending IP litigations and providing IP intelligence. So everyone talked about the research that is required before you start, some research that you may need. So even for reverse engineering, you need to first understand what is the market. So there is, when we are talking about technology, so technology information, it's a report came from UN, you can say that 80% of the technological knowledge lies in the patent documents. So, and it's been ignored. When I started my career in IP, I never heard about it, and I heard one newspaper, I read it in it that MSBT filed 10 patents in 2013. So that was the time when I was introduced to IP. I was curious to know like what is it, and I was studying in Nagpur University, by the way, that time. So I was very curious to know like what is it, what is patent. So that time, I explored it and kind of learned about intellectual property industry that is there from a very long time. So we talk about innovation, right? So outcome of innovation, so R&D and innovation, so they goes hand in hand. So whenever you are doing some research, so outcome of it would be an innovation. And if you are not protecting it, then someone else would use it. So that is my introduction to IP, and I got to know that it is very important. What we are seeing in the market happening right now, there is IP industry or IP layer in it that is influencing the market a lot. So this is current. So since we are talking about India, so Nagpur first. So I would like to show how innovation from India is growing, and that can be seen in the patent filing trend also. So you can see the total filing in India, that's data of 2014 to 2024, and the last 2 years are kind of grayed out. So you can, so it may be a bit technical, but please try to cope up and feel free to ask the questions. So those are kind of unpublished data. So when it is published, maybe in 2025 and 26, you will see a rising growth there as well. So you can see the orange line here indicates the total filings in India. So these are the total number of patents being filed in India, and our Prime Minister is, in his entire tenure has been focusing a lot in patent filings. And there are lots of amendments and schemes he has introduced through different channels. There are lots of IP awareness sessions going on in India that you should file, and as a result of that, we can see the huge rise in filing of IP there, right? The orange line. And the line that you are seeing in the bottom, the blue line, is following that trend. It is the filing from domestic companies. Domestic company and the resident companies or resident organizations, you can say. So it includes startups, it includes big companies, it includes universities, academics. So you can see the filing due to that awareness, the filing has increased a lot by the Indians also, right? So moving forward, which are the areas where the most of the filings are done? So you can see we have just compared where we were in 2014 and where we are right now in 2022. So I have just taken that much time data because later data is not published. So you can see the battery technology has grown by 398%. So like I said earlier, that the technology data lies here, right? So from here we can see that where the innovation is happening. So all the research that I was talking about, so any startup, any company, any MSME that is operating, if they are not aware of IP, or even the students who are planning to start up or budding entrepreneurs like someone said here, so they should consider this kind of research, and this data is freely available. You don't have to come to me and ask or take my service for this kind of data. This kind of data is freely available. You can do your own research. You just need some awareness and some guidance, which you can seek from internet, maybe ChatGPT or somewhere else, but just find the right mentors to understand how to find this data and see where the research is happening. Even you can drill down to which kind of patent documents, which kind of inventions being done here. You can actually look at the patent documents and see what is happening in the battery, right? So the next category you can see is software technologies. So 342% is, these two technologies are kind of booming. So, and there is a saying that, so we did one study, unfortunately I don't have it here, but you can find it on our website, that we checked one Nike's patent and checked their actual product when their actual product came. So we found that they did file one patent, design patent, let's say today, and then the patent came later, 7 years, the actual product in the market came 7 years later. So that's the power of this kind of information you can get from this IP research, that what is happening today. From that research you can predict what is going to happen, let's say 5 years down the line, right? So you can see the technology areas, these are the top areas I have just taken where most of the research is happening and most of the patent filings are happening. And somehow this green technology area, there is, this is the last red one, green technologies, that's the sustainability related technology class where the filings in India are less. Yesterday we talked a lot about sustainability and other things, but somehow the data is not indicating. So maybe there is an opportunity for everyone to look at that part. Right. Now I have just taken this battery technology and then some telecom sectors. So these areas. So first area was taken from this that it has seen the major change. But when we look at which companies are filing the most, can you see the names from there? LG, Amperex, Panasonic, TVS Motors. So only one Indian company in top 10 companies who are filing these innovations. So when I say resident, so these are kind of patents. First filing was done in India. The research was done in India. That's why the first filing of this patent was done in India. So you can see LG, although they are a Korean company, but their GCC, right? The term used, someone used this term GCC. So their global capability center in India is doing phenomenal job and doing lots of innovation coming out of that GCC, and they are filing the most in India around battery technology. Now you might not have heard of LG in battery in India in the market, but maybe this is an indication that they will have some products or maybe licensing their technology to the battery companies.
This is a global.
No, it is in India. It is in India. So this data is only in India. Yeah. So they have their GCC here in India, and from there the innovation is coming. So this all data I have shown here is for India only. So only TVS Motor is the Indian company we can see in the top 10 in the sector where most innovation is happening. So innovation is happening, technology is growing here. Obviously these technologies will go global, right? So when you are having an invention or patent being protected in India, so that technology LG has filed it globally, right? So then in the telecom sector, so this sector I have picked because recently you might have heard this announcement from Mr. Prime Minister that in 6G, which is going to come in 2017 and 2027 and 28. So his vision is having 10% contribution from India in holding SEPs, so standard essential patents. You might have heard of this company Micromax, the Indian company that got bankrupted and now nowhere, right? So what happened with them? So there was this company called Ericsson. They had their patents. They let Micromax start their business, grow well, right? It grew. It had a very good market share that time. But then they, filed a patent litigation case against them, and then those patents were standard essential patents. And Micromax did not take license from them of the patent, and they had to pay their business, out of to just settle that case, and still they are paying royalty. If they do any business, they have to first pay to them, right? So this is the consequences you can face when you in that stage when you are growing big. So you have to consider IP at some point of time. I'm not saying that you have to think about it or be bothered about it at the beginning, but at some point of time, I completely agree with what Sahil said, that you can reverse engineer and get started. Like you also said that get started, don't overthink. So, but at some point of time you have to consider IP so that you can avoid such situation and also create, have IP as an advantage for you, right? You can stop competitors, you can stop others from entering into your zone. You can stop, like what LG is going to do is we have to see that, right? So I have just taken this. So standard essential patent is $1
billion.
They are generating from patent licensing. Yeah, they are. So Nokia is a very good example that they are out of market, but still their innovations were protected in such a way that they are having, like you said, that 1 billion of revenue just coming from patent licensing, right? So you can see what is the current picture here. We want to have that vision. We have to live up to what Mr. Prime Minister said, and there are a lot of all telecom companies from India are kind of charged up after that announcement. But what is the current scenario? Right? You cannot see any Indian company in this in this sector, telecom patents, right? Only one university, that is Lovely Professional University from India, is there, right? So, I'm just moving to next example. Right, data and software we have seen. So you can see the data and software, what is the current scenario. You can see Tata is the company, and then lots of academic entities, or you can say universities are there. Lovely Professional University, Chitkara University, Chandigarh University. So these universities are kind of, no. They are patenting around data and software, data processing and softwares. So they are, but the dilemma, I would say, or the unfortunate thing is we are not looking into academics, or the industry academia tie-ups are still, I have been hearing it from my college days, but I haven't seen that happening yet. So we really need to tie. So someone from this side said that they are looking for entrepreneurs, or they are looking for some support from manpower, skilled manpower. So maybe there is some guidance academics also need, that what is the need in the industry, right? They know the process, they are in the top fighters, they are protecting innovation. I don't know whether those innovations will be commercialized or not, but right now they are holding some patents, right? So they know the process, they know how to innovate, they know, because those are protected innovations.
This is a very important point just to connect. I have seen entrepreneurs से आपको ये सीखना है कि आपको नया सॉफ्टवेयर बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम नोट करो यहाँ पे, उन्होंने रिसर्च करी है, वहाँ पे आप खुद जाओ। यूनिवर्सिटी कमर्शलाइज नहीं कर रही है, आप जाओ उनको बोलो कि हमको कमर्शलाइज करना है।
Thank you. So and the next sector is medical and healthcare. You can see lots of Indian universities again coming on the top 10. So again, I don't know whether these technologies are very good or not, but right now the data says that they have the patents, which they obviously what universities will do. So many, I don't know, I have met many professors, they just say that, okay, I want the patent in my name, there is a guidance from, university. But if that is the case, these patents might not be that useful. But if some universities have any useful patents, what would they do? So universities in the West, and like Ghanshyam sir said that universities in Singapore, they are innovating to contribute to the industry. Right? In US, you will find many patent lawsuits where universities have won in millions and billions, right? So even the case, very famous case against, it was University of California versus Apple. So Apple lost that case. So they had to pay the damages to the university. So university has that potential, and so companies in India also need to be on this list so that they own the technology which they can use for their business, and focusing much in India, and their GCCs in India are producing innovating, and the top companies here. So Maruti Suzuki was the joint venture between Maruti and Suzuki, but all the patents unfortunately were owned by Suzuki. So that's why it's here. So again, see the kind of mindset that even foreign companies or foreign companies have in India, that their GCC, whatever they are producing, they should be the one owning those patents. Right. So we worked with some of the GCCs in India, some of the Japanese and European GCCs in India, and so the initial statement, the problem statement we heard from them was, we have been seen as the kind of labor GCC. It is a global capability center or capability center, but we have been seen as to follow what they are innovating. So we are not innovating. Other GCCs around the globe are innovating. So one automotive GCC based in Bangalore, they reached out to us that, okay, we need, so their head was very aggressive in that part, that okay, we can also innovate, and but I don't know how we will do it. So this is the framework, or this is the kind of challenge plus framework we have developed along with them based on what we have realized, what challenges they are facing. So like everyone said here, lack of data was the first part. They didn't know about the IP. They were innovating, right? They were innovating, they were contributing to the innovation, but they didn't know like what is happening with that. Where is the data going? What is globally happening? So this is the first part I talked about, that we need to furnish our entrepreneurs, startups and MSMEs with this data which I have just tried to show briefly. This can go in detail as much as possible. So this data is really important. So where innovation sensitization. So I just talked about the areas, right? If I have to go in detail, I'll talk about which inventions came recently in battery tech. So that is what GCCs need, or the entrepreneurs need. That okay, in battery, what is happening? So it is anode technology where innovation is happening, or cathode or separator. What is it where the innovation is happening? And their regular updates is needed. So this problem we have solved for them. Then cultural shift. Everyone talked about the mindset. So we have seen that okay, they were. So this example I can disclose that with Tata, this company called Titan. So they were having 0 patents. At the point of time we interacted with them maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So they were having 0 patent, and we did one patent landscape for them and presented it to their all employees. And when they saw okay, घड़ी में ये चीज भी patent किया जा सकता है, they were surprised. ये तो हमें भी पता है. They were surprised as in this can be patented. We didn't know that, but this innovation can happen. They were aware of the innovation that we can also do that, but they didn't know like what is patentable and what is not. So after that, they have seen that and creating some programs for them, like innovation programs for them, where idea capture sessions happened and brainstorming session happened for their ideas. They came with lots of ideas, and we did brainstorming session with them, and told them that okay, this is not patentable, what you are saying is not patentable. So that is the kind of cultural shift happened. So when we start focusing on innovation, then the cultural shift is going to happen, and then creating a process around it. So okay, now you have got a patentable idea. What is the process that needs to be followed? So we set up the process in that company, in that GCC, and then so they are aware. Okay, after some point in time, after some inputs, all this, you are very excited, and now you will come up with ideas. But what if you submit 2 ideas, 3 ideas, 10 ideas? Till that time, you will have patience. Once you see that okay, nothing is happening, you will get demotivated again. So that's why this process was needed to create a transparent process where they are able to see where my idea is going, right? In which department it has gone, in which process, in which stage of patent filing it has been. So all those can be seen. So that process has been set, and then regular workshops, right? Brainstorming workshops needs to be done. So this is the framework, as well as you can say the challenges, including in this. We conducted with many companies in India, and then they came out of really good. And this automotive GCC I was talking about, they have been able to file 400 patents globally, and they have been able to prove now this is the best GCC for their company. So that is the process we have followed, and this is the trend we have seen in that. So after that framework, this is the trend. So year 1, you will not see lots of patents being filed. So earlier the focus is in sensitizing the inventors and training them. So the idea submission, will increase. But later on, we have seen that the patent filing will go gradually. So this is the outcome of that framework, you can say, which I have just shown. So year 1, year 0, you will see that due to initial brainstorming session and data sensitization session, a lot of ideas are coming, but only few of them will go into patent phase. And later on, you will find that if we continue that, you will find that the idea disclosure and idea submission will increase gradually, and you will gradually build a patent portfolio, because the patent will take at least 2 years or 3 years to get a grant. So you will not get a patent immediately after filing. So and thanks to Government of India, they have done lots of changes in patent system and made it more flexible for the companies or everyone to, you know, or you know, as the year goes on, so that data will get published and you will see a growing trend there. Yeah. Right. Yes. We can do that. I think, yeah, we can do that. Right. नहीं अभी आई थिंक कुछ दिन पहले एक पैटेंट फेस्ट करके एक प्रोग्राम हुआ था एंड आई हैव सीन मेनी इन्वेंटर्स फ्रॉम नागपुर कमिंग देयर होल्डिंग 10 patents 50 patents. I think if we track that, maybe we can also see that data. Yes.
In fact, I just wanted to add to this presentation. Actually, it's a fabulous presentation. Most of the patents that we have seen from the foreign companies, I work with 5 universities that are shown there, and we work very closely with these universities. There is another university called Shulini University from Himachal Pradesh, who have largest amount of patents on cancer treatment. So those universities are growing up, and these are all private universities which came into existence only in the last 12 years. So India in the private education segment has done fabulously well. The IITs also will start showing up here in a very big way. The capability centers that you're talking about, where the patents have been largest for all those companies who have started their design center in India. So Samsung has started a design center in Bangalore. And that's where the telecom, because they realized that India presently has 600 million active smartphone users. By 2026, December will be 900 million active smartphone users. So the smartphone usage data is parallel to none other country can give you that kind of a data. Second thing is, what is beyond this presentation is you can also register a patent on your process that you create. So it's not only about the idea and the outcome that is there, but the process by which you get there can also be patented. So if you have a surgery, so I have made 12 films for a doctor, for Dr. Ganesh, who is a eye surgeon in Bangalore. Netradam is chain, and he has 17 patents. I have made 12 films on his surgery process, and those are the patents that he is actually registered. So you can actually do a process patent. Unfortunately, the process patent has not been active in India. You cannot do the process patent in India. You can only do it in US as of today. So why you require a university? Why you require companies like there's a design of writing the patent in a particular way, because it's a long process and it goes through a lot of scrutiny. It goes through question and answers after you have filed it, and that's where the process takes 18 months to 24 months to get a grant. And till you get a grant, that process system you need to stand by and justify what you have filed is correct. So, you know, it's a process by itself, but it's a very paying process over a period of time, because if you have these patents, you are going to be the leaders. The IP story of India is a very recent one. Although people had IPs, but they couldn't file patents for those IPs. We also have IPs. I think Nagpur has been exporting what Sir didn't cover is the bhujia and the sweets also gets exported from Nagpur in a very big way. And it's a long thing, but one thing I must tell you and warn you, if you are planning to do something in Nagpur in the tech form and look at the IP and the export both put together, you have to be a step ahead of others. And how can you be a step ahead of others? All that both the speakers, last two speakers spoke about is how can you expect, where can you reach, and how can you file patents. But let me tell you one thing very sure. Henceforth, if you are not a net zero company, you cannot export. The countries are not going to accept. If you are not a net zero company, Europe will not accept your products. So you have to be a step ahead. If Nagpur has to succeed, it cannot be only a zero-mile capital. It has to be a net zero capital of the world. Only then we can take it. And a vision to follow and promote Nagpur. Get all Nagpur companies to become net zero. We will tell you how to go net zero. We have a young entrepreneur sitting here, 27 years old. He has built a lovely product called Bharat Carbon, which he is going to talk about today. Listen to him. We can help you go net zero. You can build export through that line of process added to your process, and you can actually become leaders in no time.
Thank you, Ashish. Taking the cue from you, the next, I am announcing now, the next global leadership talk will be on net zero.
Thank you for explaining that process of patenting so clearly and we, in a simple, yes, please.
Sir, we have heard that software patents cannot be published. हम कर नहीं सकते, तो आपने भी कैटेगरी लिखा है software 400%.
Right. So software, it goes mostly into copyright, but when you tie it with some hardware, then you can file a patent for it. Only software standalone is not patentable in India. So when you tie it with some hardware and explain,
So very interesting point, when you do copyright, you need to understand the law of copyright says that if challenged, and only if challenged in the courts of law, a person who can prove that he or she had that idea first, the copyright is granted to them. But there is a caution, like I am a storyteller, I write films and I create films in animation. Takes me about 8-9 years to actually finish a film. But my script is ready 6 years before I start making the film, because the first 3 years we write the script and research. Now if I copyright my script, it is in public domain, so people can copy it, do the variation. So I never file I register it with the Writers Guild, where the Writers Guild actually puts a stamp on every page and give me a controlling number, and they say that this writer came to me, this is a controlling number, and he has a 127-page script with this title, and they give that whole copy back to me without reading it. Are you getting my point? So if it's challenged in the court, the Writers Guild will stand with me in the court by paying, when I pay the fee, and say that this is my controlling number and these are the first 127 pages, and this idea belongs to this person. But what we do is that we do various versions of the films and the script. So suppose the 40th draft of the film has gone into production. You register all 42, and 43rd one also you register. But when you do copyright, which is a much stronger ecosystem, we go and register in the copyright one day before the film is released, so that it is in the public domain only one day before, not before that. So you need to be very cautious, because in the software coding is a similar law, where you actually are writing and it's going to be in public domain when you copyright it. So you need to be aware that patent will not be, but
write with some hardware. For example, this if we just write a code to process my voice and throwing it out from the speaker. So you have to mention that my voice is being captured by this microphone and what processing with hardware component it has done, and then the speaker is providing that output. So all this hardware component will tie with that software to protect your invention. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Maybe we can keep them in networking.
Yeah. Sure.
That would be better. We have one more session. We have to wait for lunch. Thank you. Let's clap for.
I request Dr. Rizwan and to please present a memento to the list. Dhananjay and Dr. Rizwan. Okay, I request team, can you please arrange 6 chairs on the dais? Team members. So there are 2 parallel tracks which are going to happen. One which is going to happen in IT track where we are on Tamarind Hall. On the topic technology impact on various industries and establishing Nagpur as a global technology hub. And there is a track that will happen. So workshop for startups by MSME DI on MSME competitive lean scheme. So they are going to cover topics leverage IT innovation to drive growth, lean tool and techniques to improve manufacturing efficiency, productivity, subsidiary, and the world-class international consultants and other topics which will be beneficial for startups. So the startups who would like to attend the workshop, that is also starting at the same time when we are starting the panel on the IT track. So yeah. Thank you. So moving to first panel for the day, technology impact on various industries and establishing Nagpur as a global technology hub. I'm delighted to invite the speaker panelist, Mr. Sahil Chawla, CEO and co-founder T2nd INC USA. Sahil, please join the dais. Mr. Vineet Dhawan, CEO DCT INC, DCafe Digital INC USA. Mr. Vineet. Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Chairman of AVGC X Forum, FICCI and Punyar Youth Art Vision Private Limited. Mr. Vinod Deshmukh, CIO Haldiram Foods. Apologies. Mr. Shailesh Avle, Center Head HCL Nagpur. And moderator Mr. Ghansham Ahuja, Managing Partner ThinkUA, Global Group CEO Congruent Global Solutions. Please.
Once again, good afternoon. I love it. Love last 4 years. All the speakers, very good topics have been brought to you. I would say you are lucky. You are lucky कि इतने सारे speaker आपके साथ इतना कुछ share कर रहे हैं. And I got another opportunity to now grill them more. So we'll divide into 3 sections, by the way. First one is brief introduction. I think काफी कुछ मालूम है आपको उनके बारे में, but especially once you have not heard साहिल के बारे में हमने सुन लिया. I will skip to Sahil if you don't mind. Sahil is our poster boy already. So second section will be more about talking about the topic what we have, right? And the third, I would like to keep it engaging more for question answers from your side. My panelists, dear panelists, okay, right? Yeah. So let's start. We already spoke in the morning about technology impact, global impact, how to go global, right? IP and different topics. So technology has impacted many industries, and a lot of people here from your side and on the dais, we have been impacting a lot of industries in different ways, right? There are different industries who have taken more time to take advantage of technology, and there are some companies or industries who are taking advantage now. So what we talk today more about is कि कौन-कौन सी industry पे कैसे technology का impact आया है and how they have taken advantage, and we have really esteemed guests here who will be talking. So I will first start with Vineet, then go to Ashish and yeah. So please tell us everybody. By the way, Vineet has come all the way from US, so please do share everybody about yourself.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It's been a fantastic morning. I think one thing is really common between everybody there and here is India is in our heart, and we're all working towards making sure that we bring the money home, right? With that said, just a little brief background. So we started DCT, Digital Convergence Technologies, with a vision to stay very, very focused on content delivery, content monetization, content syndication. And when we started, it was the era of Web 1.0, when we were learning the hyperlink, right? And then the noise continued to grow. It came to Web 2.0, which was a social web. The noise continued to grow from a distribution standpoint. And it was not just the web that you were looking at. You were looking at handheld devices. You were looking at connected TVs. You were looking at gaming consoles. And then how does the content get delivered? And then came the era, which is now that we're living in the Web 3.0, which is the AI web, which is talking back to you. And in this, journey, how do you continue the content delivery pattern? Consumption behaviors have changed, consumer preferences have changed. And with that, what is really, really critical is how do you continue to monetize, syndicate, and distribute this content. So with that in mind, we built a product which is called NAGPUR. NAGPUR is nothing but a SaaS product that builds Netflix-type applications without the use of technology. So our take to market is very, very simple, that how do you use a phone? Do you understand the technology of the phone? You don't. But you understand the simplicity of a phone, and you can pick it up and talk. You don't know how many patents are on it, but you know what hardware is in it, right? Similarly, can we build a SaaS product for tier 2 content providers globally, where they can deliver over the internet without having to invest in real large technology teams? So yeah, that's what we do for a living, and we do it all out of India. We're extremely proud that NAGPUR is an India-based product and delivering to the federal government in the United States. So I'll pass that on to Ashish.
So guys, that's Vineet Dhawan for you, all the way from US, services company to a platform company, both, right Vineet? Yeah, that's right. So we'll go to, yeah, thanks. We'll go to Ashish. He has been contributing since morning quite a lot, but everybody would like to love and hear about you, how you started media journey and what do you do as an introduction, please.
So I started my journey with product management and product design, and also setting some of the products into the packaging and launching them. One of the products that you know is Dinshaw's Milk was launched by me in 1992 here. And then I continued my journey with NAGPUR for 6 years, then became the CEO of Mudra Communications, went to Mumbai. But 27 years ago, I got into animation, and initial years, I actually created animation for Disney, Warner Brothers, DreamWorks, and Sony as an outsourcing model. But then I thought in 2005, why can't we tell Indian stories to the global audience? And that's when we wrote a lot of technology, which is a proprietary technology for production management as an ecosystem and as a process. That's where we Indians actually have mastered that art right now. How to bring design and creative arts and sciences together. And that's the kind of ecosystem that we developed. And then I started an intellectual property company which is now been sold to Reliance. It's now called Reliance Animation. When I owned it, it was called Anirites Info Media Private. And I'm the creator of Little Krishna, Krishna Kans, Shaktiman, Big Beast, Little Singham, many other IPs that we have. Also created a movie called Sachin right now. I create a lot of museums and also closely work with DCT and Bharat Carbon, that is going to also come on. So what we do right now is any idea that needs to be told to the world. If you go to Akshardham in Delhi and see the water show, that's what we do with the 3D mapping. If you go to Gandhinagar, Nachiketa's story, that's exactly what we do. You go to any New Age museums that are coming up in India now. That one I'm working in Omkareshwar, and one in Bangalore, and one in Vrindavan, is telling our heritage stories to the global audience in the modern form. So we actually work on various things. The word, you must have heard a word called AVGC and XR. Prime Minister is talking about it, and we are growing this industry called animation, gaming, visual effects, comics and XR. So this word was coined by me in 2000. And today, actually, more than 22 countries refer to this as an industry. And India is making a global, the national AVGC XR policy. And we are also coming up with the first National Center of Excellence in Mumbai, which is going to be called Indian Institute of Creative Technologies, which was also, the first white paper was written by me in 2005, which has now become the Government of India's new institution, which is on lines of IIT and IIMs, but it is for AVGC XR. So what we do is we look at creating intellectual property in character animation, visual effects, gaming, and extended reality, which has augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. And then with DCT, we help people actually get all these technologies put together. And presently, they have different websites, they have different content on YouTube, they have different content lying somewhere else, their test is lying somewhere else. So what we do is, with the team at DCT, we bring everything on single platform. And we help people actually look at the platform creation and use that. So if you have a university, you have a physical university, we help you do a same university digitally as well.
Great. So that's Ashish for you guys, जिन्होंने हमें बचपन में दीक्षा का दूध पिलाया, बाद में नवभारत हिंदी पेपर बहुत ज़्यादा, leveraging technology for multiple industries and making Nagpur as a hub. So over to you, Shailesh ji, please introduce yourself, and I would like to thank from Nagpur side to bring HCL to Nagpur.
Thank you, thanks everyone. Good afternoon. So my journey in short is basically 2016 was when the, okay, is it better now? Okay. So we all were talking about the inflection points, right? Most of us who were staying outside of India, whether to come back to India or not, that decision is always difficult. But fortunately, in my case, 2016 is when I decided to come back to Nagpur, when my organization Tech wanted to set up a campus here in Bihar. So, post that 2018, we launched the campus. And just wanted to say that, someone pointed out Nagpur when we position as a location. The first thing that comes to everyone's mind is, are you starting with Delhi? Right? That is what the perception comes to mind. But having said that, I think the battle was different. I come from a computer science background. I've been a developer, but given a charter to set up a campus, which is right from looking at the construction to administration to whatnot. I mean, everything that is required for a campus to set up, that was my responsibility. So in 6 years, we have now close to 5,200 people operating out of this campus in Bihar. And they are working in almost all lines of businesses that you can think of, the business domains, with healthcare, finance, engineering, R&D services, to product lifecycle management, and skills, which could be kind of like, we can call it as a niche also for niche skills. So pretty much the story that we heard, especially Sahil, everyone talked about, they started from Nagpur and taken the businesses globally. For me, it was a inward pyramid where We already had presence in 60 odd countries, and then we wanted to set up a center here in Nagpur and give the same set of services that we were supposed to be giving to our customers, right, globally. So that's how my transition has been, and then I'm very proud to say that this is one of the fastest growing center of HCL Tech, and you know, doing pride not just to Nagpur but to the HCL Tech, you know, as a large organization.
Great.
So thanks to all the stakeholders who in fact, you know, supported in this journey.
So guys, that's Shailesh who has brought the real global Nagpur impact by bringing HCL to here. So thanks, Shailesh. So maybe my first question to you, I like number three, by the way. I have three key questions, key core topics for us to understand. By the way, the side question, what's the plan for HCL? How many people they are planning next few years, if you can share? In Nagpur?
See, globally, if you ask me, this is like in terms of land parcel, this is the largest campus of HCL. So we have like 160 acres of land. So we can grow as much as we want. So the numbers I cannot say right now, but definitely the scale it can go
to. So going to our topic, you know, the leveraging technology for different industries. What has been your experience seeing which industry has leveraged technology to the best in your knowledge, and what industry has been lacking, and how?
Nagpur standpoint also, if I look at it, and particularly, in fact, as an organization or an industry also as an IT, I think the BFSI domain, the way I think, you know, it has transformed itself. I can say everything is online, right? So it's all getting paperless. I think BFSI is definitely one domain. We have a lot of projects that we are.
So banking, financial services, insurance overall. Yeah, we heard from Vinal also. Yes. You know, adding value. We have in fact two companies got it from Nagpur, who are fintech companies. Any industry which you think is picking up, and any you know, maybe suggestion to Nagpur industries here, which is manufacturing and agri, what should be done?
I think technology is the future. We all know, whether it is any domain that you pick up. I think technology is the enabler of all of them. So I think, as rightfully said by you know, the speakers earlier, I think we can ignore industry. And therefore, I think it is important that whether it is an SME or an SME, I think they all have to onboard themselves to platforms in some way or the other, whether it's SaaS or otherwise. I think that's going to take them, you know, really accelerate their growth.
Yeah. My suggestion on this point would be, भले आप छोटी कंपनी हैं, please adopt technology. टेक्नोलॉजी को खर्चा मत समझिए. टेक्नोलॉजी आपको कहाँ लेके जा सकता है, आपको उस टाइम शायद नहीं पता चलेगा, बाद में काफी को ले सकता है. Over, sorry, yeah, please.
You know, it's a nice conversation, and somebody told me this about every industry has a philosophy behind it. You know, so if you look at, we spoke about the insurance industry. What is the philosophy behind the insurance industry? So IT also has a philosophy behind it.
You know, it's a beautiful tune to our ears, because when we create one feature for them, we deal with about 400-500 terabytes of data. And our packet size is really, really big, because how much ever you may say, you know, the demand for a good quality content is growing up every single day. You know, you look at every film today, it's done with 300-400 crores. If you look at Pixar, Avengers, or any of these, they're done with $600-700 million. Okay, and each film takes us about 4.5-5 years to make. Now, each frame that you see today is having nothing less than 500 to 700 layers, and you need to render each and every layer, and you need to make sure that it is realistic. So the best visual effects that we do is that people should not be able to make out whether it's fake or it's not fake. So when the bomb blast happens, or the tornado happens, or the flood happens, it needs to look natural through the whole eyes. And at one point in time, we were talking about HD quality very recently. Then we talked about 2K, we talked about 4K. The last Olympics were beamed at 8K. The next FIFA World Cup is going to be beamed at 16K. And for some of these streaming technologies, DCT is making it possible for the global players. The thing is that the demand is phenomenally higher. The technology use is way too much in creativity. than anything else. Because in every other walk of life, the technology comes and goes. Here, every 6 months you get a new technology. So the way you approach your scene or way you approach your story is about how technology is actually going to give you. Now, right now, the biggest thing is the AI.
Yeah.
So the studios who will actually use AI effectively in their productions will survive, and the people who don't use AI into their production will perish over a period of time. Right. As simple as that. So you need to have the technology edge, because every new film that is created in our space comes with a proprietary new technology which can be used by many others eventually.
So what you're saying is there has been a huge transition which you have seen.
A feature film to OTT,
yeah,
you always require a high-end technology. When you go to television and the YouTube, streaming and everything, where the quality is a little lower, then you can have off-the-shelf technology or otherwise. So it depends on the producer and the creator that what is the combination of technologies that you use. So you may not use a single technology for the whole film. You will have to have multiple and upwards of 100 of technologies to be plugged in to create one single film.
Right. Maybe to this, I want to add something came to my mind. My company Visas, we are distributing and having a work with a company called Smartsheet, which is a global company. They have a product called Brand Folder. So to your media side, I recall now. So Formula One race, all of you have seen. McLaren team uses Smartsheet. I was amazed to see the way they are using this technology, Brand Folder, for digital asset management. The point was, imagine जब वो कार का एक्सीडेंट होता है उस टाइम में, imagine आपको हजारों वीडियोस और पिक्चर्स पड़े हुए हैं आपके रिकॉर्ड में, which is digital asset management. आपको फटाफट डिसाइड करना है, सिस्टम विद एल्गोरिथम इट विल डिसाइड. जैसे ही एक्सीडेंट, उसको तो पता नहीं एक्सीडेंट कब होगा. या फिर क्रिकेट में जब कोई आउट होता है तो आपने सोचा है कभी कि कैसे आउट होता है, उसी टाइम में ऐड आ जाती है या फिर उससे रिलेटेड ऐड आ जाती है. So this one, they were using contextual ad when the accident happens. That time, what media asset should be rendered to which channel within milliseconds of you know. So that's what they were using. So we are proud to be their partners, having worked with them. So
another important application that we are using right now is the crime control. So you know that every
crime control.
Yeah, and you have everybody putting up CCTV cameras across shops. The roads have it, and today you have a lot of data getting captured. Now what happens is when there is a bomb blast or there is an accident or something like this happens, the police intelligence comes to us with footage. And where our expertise is to analyze that footage and try to give them what was the number of that vehicle. Because in that camera, it doesn't capture so easily. Because it's a moving image.
Speed.
At the same time, even the face recognition of the culprits. How do we really go in the deeper with analysis of the image and give them the face recognition? So in our case, because we are in the process of image processing all the time, we have a reverse working. When police comes to us and we help them with analyzing and give them maybe, in certain cases we have given them probability of 2 or 3 faces, and within 48 hours they are able to catch that person. We gave them probable 35, 34 numbers, so we give them that according to us, that two-wheeler on which that guy came and planted the bomb, probably these 3 are his nameplates, and then we give him another probable 8, 9, 10, and then give him another 20 numbers. So within 24 to 38 hours, 48 hours, no sooner we give it to them, they are able to crack it.
So exactly, I think that's what Sahil also was talking about, vision tech in a
K16K movie. The camera was designed new to make that kind of movie, Postcard from the Earth, which is now being showcased in Vegas in the Sphere, largest screen in the world. So they were looking out and they went to big companies like Dell, NetApp, Pure Storage, that we need some hardware platform to render this kind of data and securely move that data from one place to Vegas. Like they were shooting somewhere, they were rendering somewhere, they were processing somewhere. He set up the context. So we are world's fastest processing system. So they had the cost of that build and movie, everything is $1.2 billion. So they had access to everything. And someone who is our media entertainment head, who is Technicolor is the largest firm to do rendering, processing, sound editing. They approached us and said that we would like to test this system. They tested for 6 months, and then proudly we are partner there. We have provided 2 petabyte of systems to them. And what our technology does is, we have compact flash systems into small form factor, which any server today can build 24 drives. So each drive, I'll just go into real technical so that you understand 48 hours. Using our technology can do in 5 hours. So, and we are trying to build that market and understand, build that trust, because this is very sensitive data. People will compact, a server can only take 24 drives, our system can take 64 drives. So that's the reason we provide high performance, redundancy, backup, all that kind. So anything on the back layer of visual, rendering, editing, this needs high throughput. So we provide that high throughput.
Very good. So we heard BFSI, we heard media industry, using technology. My question to you, Sahil, is when you were creating your company, did you had industry in mind? If this industry will be adopting me much faster? And second thing is, has there any been surprise to you? अच्छा, मैंने इसके बारे में सोचा ही नहीं this industry ना नाम.
Lot of surprises, a lot of surprises. I think this technology was built for Boeing. So Boeing invested the first check in the company. They wanted to use this in a defense equipment. So Boeing just not only make planes, they make defense equipments. They make submarines, they make planes, defense, all the data they collect. So they wanted something, they were having challenges in their ships to bring that data to a data center. So they wanted a portable device which can capture large data. So this was the main application. But to our surprise, 2 companies approached. One is Red Cameras, you must be knowing, it's the largest camera company, and Arri Cameras, which is also oldest and the biggest company in camera movie making. So they approached and said that our memories it is evolved from a tape. If you remember tapes, Aditi, the 15 minutes content is shoot. Similarly, the SD cards were made in a way it can shoot 15 minutes only because of the mindset and clip numbering and editing. So they said, but in future we would need large data. So proudly we are now partner with both of them, where we directly capture the data from the camera. We did one project in desert at 48 degrees. We said, Nagpur we have tested. So they did 24/7 data capturing from a camera directly from 3 cameras, which was like 200 terabyte of data, to our system and tested, run, kind of thing.
Excellent. Let's go to Vineet. Yeah, you can close. इसमें शर्म नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Latency frame depends on 2K, 4K, 16K per frame second. We are a platform wherever you have the data, you can access through our system. And on AI latencies, I can give you the specs.
I can answer a little bit more for you from a latency standpoint, because between these two delivery
He has appliance, he has application. His application guy is
So
appliance.
finally, latency and concurrency is important when it comes to the consumer and how you're using it. So when we take data and we send it into the cloud, it is transported in multiple renditions. So you would see when you're watching on your OTT platform, live platforms, you can change the rendition. Right? So typically, if you see latency behind live anywhere in the world, is around 35 seconds.
Yeah, of course. Now next is you only. The question I want to understand from you is, you have been a services company for different industries, 5-6 different industries, right?
Yeah.
And then you shifted towards a platform. My first 2 parts of the question is, how do you see these industries adopting technology, which is what our topic is right? And what made you shift to a platform? You must have seen something that something is not working. Let me do this platform, right? Maybe it will be useful for.
Well, that was pretty interesting, and I think it happens to most people who are in their entrepreneurial journey. So we actually, just a little backstory. So it was Verizon. If you've heard of Verizon, they are the largest telco in the world. And they are like 158 billion is the market cap, and they went ahead with a shopping bag, and they bought Yahoo, they bought AOL, they bought a CDN company, and then they bought one media streaming company. So the shopping bag was worth $10 billion. And then they started going around the world to find partners. We became the India partner. which is funny. And then what we realized is that what they do, they did something extremely well, which was they did the video workflow management. So let me just take a minute.
Sorry, what video?
Workflow management.
Video workflow management.
Right. So just to quickly draw context, everybody watches OTT, right? Right? And in fact, at this point, India is going through a massive frenzy. Right? What's that frenzy? No man, I wish I could do that bloody action.
Actually, on a lighter note, मैं बोलने वाला था, आपने end का point पहले बोल दिया. ये पुष्पा 3 के लिए विनीत जी का audition होने वाला है.
But that's a crazy thing, right? So basically, when you as a consumer look at any OTT application, you hit a play button and you don't know what else is happening. And then you will say कि boss इसका service अच्छा है, इसका service अच्छा नहीं है, based on buffering कितना हो रहा है and whether the content is delivered or not, right? So video workflow management is transcoding, encoding, and putting it in the cloud. Right, so everything they shoot, everything they render, it needs to go into the cloud. You hit a play button, then it comes to you. वो आता कैसे है, दिखता कैसे है, क्या latency पे आता है, कितने concurrency पे आता है, live है कि आप VOD घर पे बैठ के TV पे देख रहे हो, आपको HD चाहिए, आपको 4K चाहिए, right? And specifically from a delivery standpoint, we were discussing when you're watching something live, the first 10 minutes of a live show is very, very critical because that's when the most people come to it. Yeah. And if I shift gears and go to sports, the last 15 minutes of any match are super critical because that's when everybody comes to it, right? So for us in the distribution business, it's very, very important on how do you manage this. So back to answering his question, when we partnered with Verizon, we realized that they managed the cloud extremely well, but they did not have anything on the consumer-facing side of the business. So we built a product which sits in the center, takes the content and delivers it to the consumer. That's how our product got formed.
So to simplify what he does is that he's got a product called DCafe, and the content creators put their content into multiple clouds. Now there are, like we know Android and Apple, but there are like 15 different kind of apps that can be created, Roku to Samsung to LG to everything, Fire Stick and all. Now what his engine does is that you are actually picking up your phone and clicking that I want to watch this content. You put a demand, and if you're on a home TV, you put a demand on home TV. If you're in the theater, you put a demand on in the theater.
It's like your favorites, right?
Yeah, so what his technology does is, in less than 10 seconds, it identifies the content in which cloud it is, it pulls that content, and delivers it to the format in which you are watching. So that's the engine that he has created.
Personalization of format.
Yeah. So in the fraction of a second, you are able to actually get that. But that's the engine which is a very difficult engine. They took probably 7.5 years for them to build that engine.
Shailesh, I will come to you now. We'll have second part and then we'll go to question answer quickly. So there are two parts to the question. Do you see different industries adopting technology different way and something different has to be done versus healthcare versus fintech versus manufacturing? That's one. And second part is, besides software, now many like he's doing appliances, hardware is becoming important. So for technology to be implemented, adopted by different industry, do they have to keep in mind different other appliances? Like in medical, I'm seeing already tele-advisory and उसमें आजकल वो kiosk आ गए. Do you see that and anything specific happening in Nagpur around that?
So honestly speaking, I mean I had the CIA, also, and I come along. I mean many MSME folks from various industry segments, and one of the common I think problem that everyone is facing right now when it comes to technology, right? One part is like adoption of the technology. Second is after adoption, because of so many threats which are coming along, right? Whether it is related to security or data compliances and so on and so forth. I think they don't have a system, or they cannot probably afford to have a dedicated personnel to manage their IT right now. I mean, it's not economical, right? So I think to your first question, where what are the segments where the IT has to be kind of like, more prominent? I think it's, my answer is all the sectors. It's not limited to, one or the other. And the second is that I think more importantly, they have to basically, make sure that they kind of like, leverage, the companies which are present here in Nagpur. Because like learning from each other is what I think, is the important way to kind of like adopt it. So I see that the adoptions can come more and more if they participate in events like this, or they kind of like, partner with kind of like, companies which are present, already doing, great work in media, in kind of like distribution, and then in storage, and then there are many other people who are in application development and services also. So I think it's more of a kind of like, they have to come forward and leverage rather than we going back and talking to them.
Good. Ashish, I think my question to you is in terms of media technology or media, what's happening? What are the new trends you see, and where does Nagpur, being a global hub, what we are talking today, where does Nagpur can play a role in that?
See, with Sahil in Nagpur, I think one of the important things that we face is the render farm. So we have a huge complexity that every image that we create, that image to look right, it goes through a rendering process. The image gets rendered, and each second of our film has got 24 frames, and the 24 frames, each frame has got more than 500 to 600 layers to it, and that's where the complexity is more deeper. So when we actually put it for render, we might render a scene in 7 days to 15 days. So before that, we don't know how does that final output looks like. Whereas if Sahil's team can help us render that faster, nothing like it. Second is that the licensing cost of software is really high. So what we are talking to the government right now is how can we create these clouds whereby we take say 200 licenses, and there are maybe 1,000 people working in Nagpur. But all 1,000 people at the same time will not use the license. Normally all 1,000 people buy that license, and it's an expensive license to be on.
Yeah.
So what we can do is that the license can be on the cloud. You have a system, you can access that license as and when you want, and then you can be in the queue for that license.
So license management.
So that cost goes less. Second thing is that on the OTT platforms and everything else, today you're talking about streaming, and India being the largest population, the gaming industry is phenomenally big in India, unprecedented. It's unfortunately people think that it's about the console and everything. India is all about the mobile phone. With 600 million active smartphone users today and 900 million by 2026 December, you're going to be a powerhouse.
By the way, do we have gaming companies and gaming developers in Nagpur?
No, I think I'm talking about the potential.
That's what, yeah. That's
where the media cities today. I think that's the order of the day.
Digital media cities. That's great.
Second important thing is that what I would like, we need to talk about it, because we are looking at that solution. When you actually have these streaming platforms and millions of people are watching at the same time, when you go to Jio, you see 54 crores are watching the IPL match. So when they are concurrently watching, and if 30 crore people are playing a game at the same time, the cost of your cloud and the data dissemination from there for these many people is very high. Now what happens is that any businesses of this kind can make or break if you're not able to control that cost. So now there has to be
the consumption of data center and data analysis.
There has to be technology needed to reduce that cost, to make it more viable. So there is a technology within the technology that needs to be done. And I think Vineet can talk about it because he is working on one technology like that, I know.
In fact,
which is a game changer.
I am doing an event in Bangalore next month called Tech for Tech.
Yeah. So
tech is required for tech.
Yeah. So so these are all the opportunities for Nagpur. So if you ask me, how do you do this? You need to talk to Devabhav and make a digital media city here. Invite people to come to digital media city. Make it very, very friendly for them to be, because it's got a great lifestyle. People can go on morning walks and go for receptions in the evening. that's a routine of Nagpurians. But the issue is they can bring their parents, the healthcare is really good, the schools are really good. So young talent can make Nagpur their home if they have provided a great system for incubation here. And that's where I think we can have a theme-based incubation process and take it forward.
I think शशांक भाई फिर से एक वीडियो देवा भाई के लिए बन रहा है. I think एक छोटा सा देवा भाव के लिए और गडकरी साहब के लिए तालियां बड़ी बात है उनके लिए. उनको बना के भेजेंगे और outcome of Nagpur first.
Yeah, but before we go, I want Vineet to talk about
Of course,
radios
we are coming to that. I'm coming to Vineet. So Vineet, straightforward question. What do you think is a technology adoption where industry, more and more industries are adopting in a different way as a platform, and more so important is, would you consider Nagpur to be one of your hub?
No, absolutely. I think the whole morning everybody spoke about taking Nagpur to the globe. I think we were invited to bring the globe to Nagpur. So that's why we are here, and it's just been amazing to see this. So that's the whole opportunity. With that said, just to add to what Ashishji said, I think from a technology standpoint, what is happening is we just need to keep it simple, less is more, right? That's the way you want to do it, and not complicated. And I think the big one, at least for India, is bring down the cost. So whenever we look at India, our biggest, I would say, flavor of handling the economy, handling consumption, handling the scale, because you don't get the scale anywhere in the world. And if you can't handle the scale, you're going to be out of business. So how do you handle the scale? So we work on technologies that kind of bring down the cost. So currently we're working on a particular technology, it's ready to get to the market, where we are saying that the content delivery network is the biggest cost challenge for any delivery, whether we talk about gaming, we talk about OTT, and that is why you see a lot of large content companies are not actually making money, right? Because their costs are driven so high. And if we were actually able to bring that down, so what we are building is a network which will get created within a consumption pattern, and they can talk to each other and take off the load from the CDN, right? Which will now allow each one in that network to look at each other. It will in fact increase your capability of delivery rather than take away. And you don't need to keep going back to the CDN to deliver it to you. So buffering probably stops, last mile delivery becomes much easier. Yeah, that's what we're working on.
That's great. So to you, Sahil, my question would be, you are kind of went different by going into hardware and appliances. Not an easy, I understand this. So why did you think that with appliances and hardware it will be more better adoption for the industry? Because that's the core of our topic. And yeah, that's
I'll add to an answer that our product is also a sustainable product. It takes 1/3 power of any other systems, and it takes 1/4 space as well. So that can be in Yota, if you know the company. I don't know whether they're doing good or not. They are trying to build a solution as rendering as a service. So Nagpur could be a good talent hub. And to get this talent hub, the question is always arises from Nagpur. And I'll speak out of frustration to all the Nagpurians and students who are there. I'll tell you the mindset everybody as a human has. Somebody who is living in town wants to come to Nagpur. Like somebody is Varda, Brahmapuri, wants to come to Nagpur. Somebody who offers a job in Brahmapur, although the cost of living, cost of thing is high. Similarly, Nagpurians wants to go to Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai because of certain lifestyle we have in mind. But sometimes it's a baggage of society where we are saying, oh, I got a job in Pune for 50,000 rupees. The same job can be done in Nagpur for 35,000 rupees. But as a mindset, it says that, oh, 50,000 is much more bigger number. But at the cost matrix, it's not. So understand as a student, as a employer, if we can get people here, then only the ecosystem will build. Then we'll have a nearby, all the parties so all the parties can happen here as well. And my vision, to be honest, we'll invest heavily in next 5 years in Nagpur to build technology ecosystem here. We are trying to talk with, and only startup cannot do. We are talking with companies, large companies, Indian companies, TCS, Tech Mahindra, HCL, to have their ecosystem here, which can bring a certain talent, because everybody is not innovative or creative. You need all the type of people. We are talking to global companies like Google and semiconductor companies. They come to Nagpur. The challenge, I speak for Devabhav and Nitinji as well. San Jose, our office, Telangana government minister, Karnataka government minister, Tamil Nadu government minister, all minister level, ministers and their IS officer came to our office as a small startup, young startup, that you come into our state. But nobody from Nagpur ever reached us to. We are having a heart in Nagpur, that's the reason we are here. But this adoption has to happen if you want to make certain ecosystem. Because we are little arrogant as a Maharashtra because we have our largest economy as a state, but Nagpur needs it. Nagpur can be a very central location for talent, especially in technology, because we have, as rightly said, I think from previous knowledge, there were 54 engineering colleges. I don't know how much is active, but triple IT, ITI, diplomas, all the talent is there. We need large companies like HCL to give 5,000, 10,000 jobs, and some companies like us to give 1,000 jobs, so that the ecosystem will create, and people who are investing in Nagpur is doing for the same thing. And the last part I want to cover is, for us, we give an opportunity to all the students, developers, companies, SMEs. If you want to build any AI application which has a defense use case for India, we'll give you a complete infrastructure backend to build. Like, we'll provide you a hardware cost, we'll provide you everything. You build an application on top of it, which we will give a customer also. But if you want to have a developer mindset and you have you just do a one-pager or two-pager thing and email us that this is the application, this is the problem I want to solve, which has a defense application. Intelligence services needs a lot of AI in their services. If you can build something, we'll provide you complete hardware infrastructure.
So I think with this I will open the floor for questions rather, so at least three questions maybe max. How much time we have accordingly? Please, 1, 2. Any other third question before I close? Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3. Please.
Hi, good afternoon. My question is to Vineet. You talked about Verizon. So what we have seen is that all the service providers all over the globe are struggling to monetize their revenue, while everyone else using their infrastructure is making the money. What the trend we have seen, either these communication providers are getting sold to the PE firms or they are getting merged. In case of US, also Sprint merged with T-Mobile, same happened in Canada. So my question is that as a provider to these organizations, is there any view which you also carry which can help them to monetize, or because if they don't make money, then a lot of ecosystem associated with them do not make it?
So I'll tell you two. Right, and that's what we've been demonstrating and championing for making money. The first one is, like I said, at the infrastructure level, how do you bring down cost? And that's what I mentioned, that's one piece of technology that we're building. And on the monetization side, we have been championing a thought around hyper-localization, right, which we don't see. So if you look at the broadcast business and how did it make money, you still pay for your channel at home and then you see too many ads, right? But we got used to getting OTT free, right? The minute we change that mindset, we're working on it, where you have few ads, but those ads become hyper-local. If I'm sitting in Nagpur and I can't get an ad for an orange, or I can't get an ad of Haldiram, which is hyper-local during probably an IPL, then that broadcast has no value. If my local, halwai in Bihar cannot serve an ad in his region, then it's futile. But if I can make that happen, I can take it hyper-local. Now, just to add to that, if I take news delivery and make it hyper-local, I take content delivery and make it hyper-local. Now that's a massive monetization opportunity for this scale. So we're championing these two thoughts. At an infrastructure level, bring down your cost, and at a consumer level, increase.
Seen earlier, all the Hindi cinema was actually, used to license it from the South cinema, and they used to make a remake. Now it's not happening. Now Pushpa releases in all 7 languages. All the films like Bahubali onwards release in all 7 languages. So what the technology is doing is that no sooner you made a film in one language, there are Indian technologies who convert that into multiple languages. And it can be released at the same time, and you don't come to know as a client that it was not done dubbing. It picks up everything from there. So that's also another example.
So single video, multi-audio. Now that's in your hands.
Absolutely.
And it's all automated. It's all automated.
Now Mann Ki Baat goes in 11 languages.
Thank you for all the knowledge that you guys have given. My name is Akash. We've been covering a lot of things about what can be done in Nagpur and what is not there in Nagpur. But I think there is one very specific aspect that we have actually skipped upon, is that Nagpur is a city of content creators. And our content creators are going global. So right from your Dolly Chaiwala to n number of content creators, we spoke about gaming. We do not create games, but then we have a very huge ecosystem of gaming streamers right here in Nagpur. People who have more than 1 million subscribers on YouTube, they are generating a huge amount of revenue out of Nagpur. Now my question is, if we have a whole ecosystem of content creators, as technology guys, are we not interested in investing on maybe OTT platforms to cater to these guys? Just 300 kilometers from here in Indore, they've come up with something called a Stage app, which is the first regional OTT of India. They've received almost like 50 CR from Bloom Ventures. And they won in Madhya Pradesh, they're in Rajasthan now, they're in Gujarat now. Why can't this be done in Nagpur?
Yeah, so just to add to that, we've made a strategic investment in a company called Planet Marathi. Okay, and that's our regional foray as a technology firm into content, and because what we're championing again is a corridor, right, for content, and we have forever championed the Pune-Mumbai corridor as a content hub. If you look at it from a Maharashtra perspective, but to your point, what we've been seeing that Nagpur genuinely has a ton of that opportunity, and with that in mind, we have kind of taken this on. Even Beer and Latur, surprisingly, has some crazy people who have that flair. So not just technology, but also on the content side, and that's why we made this strategic investment to really see how do you take this. Now the funny part is that on the monetization side, a Maharashtrian, right, and all of us included, will not pay 10 rupees. But this same Maharashtra in San Jose will pay $10 a piece. Right? But in any case, it is what it is. So, but this does have talent and content.
Yes,
absolutely. Learn to spend, man.
Yeah, so I think one of the critical thing is to create a category, increase the hardware category to maybe 15-20 countries, companies, and that category clustering is going to help, because then you will have the talent of that category specialization will be available here. People will invest into that ecosystem. So our learning is that why don't we make films in Nagpur? You need an ecosystem, because we need 52 different skills to make one single film. And in Mumbai, everybody comes on a hire only for that particular timeline. So musician will come only for that, playing a tabla for that song. So when you are able to hire services and you have created that category, then it works. So I think what Nagpur we need to do consciously is to build about 8 or 10 categories, especially for Nagpur. Nagpur is a big medical center, so kind of data that you have on the medical, now we have the National Cancer Institute, the cancer data that we have, we need to actually look at this data very differently. And I think the technology companies have to work together with the healthcare, and I think that's where it will succeed, because that's probably the order of the day, because category development makes the industry bigger.
In the interest of time, maybe the last question we'll hear from here. By the way, on this point, I have been mentoring a company called filmwalas.com. Filmwalas is trying to bring many people needed to make a film. Anyway, so come in and then make it outsource. Speak loudly. Good
afternoon, panel. I am Kaustubh from Indian Institute of Information Technology, Nagpur, IIT Nagpur. As the discussion was going on, I identified that there was demand in tech in every sector, whether it's fintech, tech, everywhere. And I come from a technology college, so I see tech everywhere. In every room I enter, there is different tech. For example, recently Women's Safety Issue was going on 5 to 6 months back. So people in our college came with a solution that they trained an ML program to identify how many men and women are there in the that locality in traffic police, and then so they can identify the anomalous behavior which is going on, and they can send that data to the nearest police station and all. So
based on what? Based on CCTV?
ML model, machine learning model training. So this
sorry, based on thermal model you can identify it as male or female?
Based on ML model, machine learning. Okay. So there is tech in our college and there is demand in the industry. So my question is where the gap lies, so that can't be bridged between the demand and the supply.
So you're saying there is a demand
and
there is a supply, but it's not matching.
Yeah.
People are not able to meet.
Because that ends with a semester project and
issue and a college issue. I would say never leave it that way. But yeah, there is an ecosystem. We talk about ecosystem and companies and all.
See, I'll tell you, I'll not name the institute in Nagpur. I went to college professor and HOD and said, how many patents do you file? He says 20 patents a year we file. I said, how many are granted? He said, approximately 5-7 are granted. I said, how many product comes out of it? 0. So it's not, it's perseverance. The way we are perceived to do an idea, I told you, there's a money in the Nagpur ecosystem. There are people who can guide you from 0 stage to a scalable stage. It's just somebody has to take a step, and that step cannot be taken by anybody else. Someone who is building the thing has to take that step.
Very good point. मैं सही बता रहा हूँ. इसे सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है. यहाँ पे हवा में रहते हैं हम उस टाइम में. अच्छा लगा, बढ़िया लगा, motivated, which is good. How many people come to us? I can tell you less than 5 to 9 देना पड़ेगा, right? But we are willing to give. Openly सब लोग बोल रहे हैं. तो आपको आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा. इसमें एक छोटी सी स्टोरी शेयर करता हूँ कहाँ पे हम गलत जाते हैं इकोसिस्टम में. There's a company in Singapore called Blades. आपके जैसे students आए थे मेरे पास.
So 2 students came to me. I was very early in my investment journey. How we go wrong? We call this as NT portfolio. Some of you might, we call this NT portfolio. A student like you came in with an idea, very simple. Internshala, you guys know Internshala? He was creating an Internshala kind of a company in Singapore, right? But he was having, both the founders were having offer for an Ivy League university in US. Where I went wrong is like overthinking. हम आज भी सुन रहे थे ना, overthinking या फिर हम लोग analysis करते हैं बहुत सारा, नहीं सोचना चाहिए. अपनी unlearning बहुत जरूरी है life में. I learned there in that company 7 years back when I started my investment. I said no to both the guys. Reason is Singapore के bright guys, Ivy League university में admission मिला हुआ है, good company. I like the whole concept of the company. I decided not to invest. Within 2 years, think what I thought they will go to university. But actually they didn't go. They dropped the university, and within 2 years they got a $10 million funding from SPH, Singapore Press Holding, which is the biggest media company from Singapore. So where now in this ecosystem, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कहाँ गलतियाँ होती हैं ecosystem की इस type की. हो सकता है we may not be able to identify the full potential. जो मैं इसलिए real example दे रहा हूँ आपको, वहाँ होता है. बाकी totally it's up to you. Individual जब तक आपको curiosity, यहाँ लोग बैठे हैं आपके सामने help करने के लिए. आप आगे बढ़िए, college को बोलिए आगे बढ़ने के लिए, then things will happen.
Sir, I would like to tell you one thing very as a student. There are products or services born only in 2 ways. One is that you identify a need, and if there is a need of, identifying a problem or like identified problem where you need to give a solution through a product or a service, then you actually custom build that and make it available for them. And then there will be other competitors who will come, and because they worked on the same philosophy. The second is that the technology will say that I can also do this. So when we were having the landline, there was no need of a cell phone, but technology said I can also give you a cell phone. So there was a satellite phone once, then the technology improved and improved another way and improved another way. Now the battery is inbuilt in the phone, the battery can last for. So there are different inventions which are going on. So the technology will say that I can give you even this, and somebody is saying that it might not be a need today, but it might be a need tomorrow.
Correct.
And that's why the technology is developed like that.
Yeah.
So I met some of the guys who are building, the Seagate guy is building a battery which can be once deployed can last for 10 years without charging.
Wow.
Okay, another guy who is building a technology that we have to charge our phone every time. So he is building a technology where your signal is good. No sooner you are getting a signal, your phone continues to get charged. Are you getting my point? So people are working on different, because it's a different need that is going to be required because the numbers are big. So identify a need and then work on the technology. That would be a simpler solution at this stage.
Yeah.
When you are evolved, then you are.
So I'll just come to the end of our session. Thanks Ashish by that. Just also to add one more point. हमने last week एक company में invest किया, उसका नाम है Home Space. क्या करती है, space technology में? They have a recyclable rocket. Rocket छोटा सा वो ऊपर में satellite लेके जाता है. 24 hours में वापस वो rocket फिर से ready हो जाता है वापस भेजने के लिए. Imagine within 24 hours आज वो rocket recycle कर रहा है. Imagine that kind of a technology is being built. Thank you for your question. I hope you got the answer, but we are available offline. Before we end, I just have a rapid fire question for all our 4 esteemed panelists here. What trend Nagpur should pick up from your perspective?
I think from where it was probably in 2016 to where we are right now in 2024, tremendous progress, I would say, be it on the infrastructure front, IT particularly. I think we have all the top IT companies.
So what one technology you can suggest them that they should pick up as a trend?
I think everyone is talking about AI, and that's where we all are also investing in our employees. So
AI.
definitely I think
AI is your take. Ashish, your take on one technology trend they should pick up.
I think two. One is the sustainability, and
I would go with gaming, because anything that is being seen, and then obviously media. You have to be seen. Mumbai, Pune is becoming one of that, and Nagpur absolutely has the potential, has to be seen.
I would say personal culture. The reason is personal discipline in Nagpur is much more needed. We should be punctual, we should be perseverance, we should be dedicated. I think we can do all what they are saying. We have the talent, it's just we need to have that perseverance.
खुद को change करो, बाकी सब change हो जाएगा. That's a mantra with that at the end this panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, panelists, for the wonderful and the insights shared by all of you. I request all the speakers to please stay on the stage, and the speakers who are sitting with the participants, I request you all to please join the dais for a group picture. All the speakers.
Sorry, before
all the speakers who
just one line of token of appreciation for Ashish. Huge round of Ashish. Just to tell you guys, since 2004, Ashish has been helping Nagpur for the first NASCOM, I think, IT event, had 3 events. 20 years in supporting Nagpur. Ashish, kudos to you. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. And I hope हम सब भी ऐसे ही करेंगे, और I hope कि आप जब बड़े होंगे, आप ये 50 साल करते रहेंगे.
I request all the speakers to please join the dais, and NF members as well.